This is not the... It's funny, this is going to be the first thing the people at home are hearing. This is not the failed portrayal on Fantasy or Age of Sigmar. I'm not
If we
prepared
do
for
that, we
one
would
yet.
try covering Total War. We covered Total Warhammer by that. I think just the assets and the actual coverage, because they actually put characters, images in physical things in Warhammer, Total Warhammer.
They would have it. Well, I mean, since we are... hey, spoilers, chat. While we're still on the standby screen, we're going to talk about Trench Crusade today. It's not Axe's birthday yet, but...
It's going to be that... I mean, in Germany
soon.
it already is.
Yeah, in the next 24 hours it is. So, as is usual, we let people pick some fun ones. So, we're going to talk about Trench Crusade. I do have a bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! News to run through real quick, which I can do
that quickly
basically right away. Let me go ahead and switcheth the scene. Yeah, that's correct, chat. There you go. And we'll also do this to buy a little time, because, like, we're starting a little early. Hey, stay tuned to this channel after, not to send you packing home, but depending on how long this takes and how I feel, may Gorilla stream 14 after this, because we're coordinating a blind run of the Arcadion, like, right away, so...
I really don't want to do it, but, like...
You don't have to. I don't think Lucky's committed to doing the Arcadion tonight, so, like...
The problem is, like, I can't, because the patch is coming out. Unfortunately, no one's going to show up to do anything for my birthday, so it's annoying. That's why it's like, I kind of don't want to do the patch, because it just kind of spoils the idea of having a birthday.
You know, you can play 14 on your birthday. We can have all kinds of stuff.
I don't want to, though. I'd rather you guys do something else with me.
Well, you know, that's how real life goes.
Because some of my friends have medical emergencies happening, or buried themselves at work they probably shouldn't have done.
I mean, stuff happens in life. Like I talked about this. The other thing I'm going to be doing for my birthday is we'll probably see a movie, which will probably be rented and thrown on our projector screen, and then, you know, I'm going to not work. That's it. I won't stream.
I would love to do something for you, but that's me.
The only thing I do for my birthday is work.
I take my birthday off. That's just a rule of mine.
Well, yeah, so to run through the Yu-Gi-Oh! Of it all, we did get the Genesis Point update. They said it would be coming out on the 15th, probably. Hey, yesterday was the 15th. It happened. It was a little late, but it came out. I won't, like, cross-reference the blog post they put out about a week before they put this out, where they explained what the point changes would be, but they basically kind of called all of their shots.
Big hitters, we could say, is just like Droll up from 5 to 25, Dododo from 7 to 70, because it turns out it just enabled the entire automat and also let you splash it, so now you can't splash it, now you can't, you have to put automat the other way.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot here,
rank 3
like,
stuff is because there's a rank 3 slop deck that was like with Radiant Typhoon.
Well, yeah, there was a lot of generic rank 3 stuff they changed. Basically, they explained all of this, like, in different sections, and these, you can see the gaps here, chat. This was intended to follow that. So, number 1 was basically, I think they said, overperformers. Draco Tail is a deck that is meta-compatible in TCG, so they wanted to increase it a little so that at least if you're playing it in Genesis, you have to make decisions about your deck building to lower the power level. Droll is a card that was super overperforming, and so they have bumped it, as Zach just said, from 5 to 25. You can see it. Droll is dead, everybody. There ain't no way you're playing not even 2 Droll at 50 points. Fuck no. Which is good, because Droll is a really annoying card. I hope that they get rid of him in the TCG and OCG as well. Even putting him to 2 in Master Duel feels a little rough. They also moved Nib from 5 to 6. This seems to be kind of like a hand trap math thing. Nibiru is, like, really frustrating to play in when you're in kind of a lower powered for fun format, but also is like a... There are some decks that will look at you playing Nibiru and just be like, haha. Hell, I do that all the time in Master Duel, with Dragon Maids. What up?
What is the, like, point cost for decks for Genesis?
The default is 100 points is the official events. Technically, you can play with that, but yeah, it's supposed to be out of 100, and that is main deck, extra deck, and side. So you're accounting for, like, your side decking options too.
I need to find, like, the actual psychic decks and actually learn to play them, because
they
were good, but like now they're worse.
This does some stuff.
Alright, and I'm assuming like most cards are like 0 points.
Yeah, there's
cards that are usually aren't.
No. Don't say it that way. He said most cards. Yu-Gi-Oh is a game that has 10,000 cards. There's, I think, under 600 cards that have point values in Genesis. So, vast majority of cards are unpointed. They do have a decent collection of cards that are pointed. Obviously, that 600 number is a large amount to keep track of, but they usually fall into a couple different formats. Pot of Greed is like 40 points, you know, so you can technically play 2 if you have nothing else in your deck that costs money. Most game-ending Floodgates feel-bad cards are 100 points, so you can only play 1 copy of them and then nothing else that costs points. So they have a lot of levers to pull. The Radiant Typhoon stuff, for instance, that's a really interesting one because that's a deck that's not in the normal TCG format, but was kind of everywhere in Genesis because you can play it a couple ways. Axe mentioned there's a 3-axis deck, rank 3, which Radiant Typhoon is a really good engine to put in. And also, it was very playable with Runic because those are all quick play spell cards that are really annoying to deal with. So basically, they gave Totem Bird and Cicada King, you know, a few points. You got to play those in Radiant Typhoon if you're playing Radiant Typhoon. And then also, Chant and one of their monsters went up in points. Those are all, like, probably 3 ofs, so now you have to spend, like, half of your point values on the normal ratios of cards for Radiant Typhoon, so you probably won't be running that with anything, what's the phrase, extra spiced. The next block of cards is something they talked about here, which is just, like, cards that either mill from your main deck or rip out of your extra deck they're looking at because that's just a very unfun form of interaction. So Runic Tip does that, the upcoming Hecka Hands and Cool Tunes. Sorry, that sounds so bad. I can't believe they changed it from Killer Tune.
What is this, like an update to like Toon Monsters?
No. They were called Killer Tune because they're tuners. But they named it Cool Tune in English. I don't like it. It's not good.
No.
It's like, it dates it really too hard.
It's so bad. I mean, yeah, but these cards do stuff to, you know, extra deck and main deck rip, so they gave them a few points values. The Hecka Hands and Killer Tunes aren't even out yet. That product got delayed, but they were like, we're not going to delay your points list to keep up with the product, so good on them.
As a side thing, I just want to say is, like, I'm a person that does not believe, like, children under 10 actually buy products. I feel like...
Yeah,
like,
I mean, I don't actually even know what our fucking demographics are like anymore. They're still rated like 7-Up on the bag,
yeah,
on the pack, so
you
I
put
don't
the word
know
killer.
if they want...
It's like, it's just a term. Like, it's just a phrase. It doesn't insinuate anything.
Yeah, I mean, as people say...
It's like saying something sick, yeah.
I posted it on Reddit when somebody was asking about, hey, what are some weird translation things where people prefer it the original way, and I was like, hey, so Yu-Gi-Oh has this thing, and they've literally done it just now. They've just announced this localization. Here's what it is. I think they could have gotten away with Killer Tune because it's a metaphor, but there are times when the TCG department seems to get really scared of something and just back off, and they probably don't need to worry that much. Yeah, Axe mentioned before, Dodo Warrior stocks in the ground. Dodo Warrior found dead in Genesis from 7 to 70 points.
It's basically been limited to 1 now, and even then, I don't think you can play it because there's other parts of your deck that need like more than 30 points.
Yeah, you're going to be very spicy if you're playing 1 Dodo Warrior, so you got to be careful. They bumped a lot of K9 cards because that is a meta deck that is still seeing play. Circular and Magician's Souls are like the freest cards in the universe because they let you bin spellcasters or cyberse monsters to summon a guy, and then you can still do things, so that's pretty good to see. There's a couple of generic, like, counterplay cards that we're seeing a lot of play. A lot of people were playing Therion King Regulus, who is a negate if you're playing the right decks. Crossout Designator is a card, which if you don't know in the Yu-Gi-Oh meta, if you're not up to date on our latest technology, Crossout Designator is a card it's a quick play spell card, so you can activate it on both turns. It says banish a card from your deck for the rest of this turn. That cards with that same name can't be activated and their effects are negated.
Well, it's why they've just upped the point cost of all the hand traps. So.
Yeah, so they've increased it to 20 because the Genesis is of the opinion, they said this in the blog post, that they want, if you're paying money for hand traps, basically, if you're paying points for hand traps, you want them to resolve. If you're playing Crossout Designator and hand traps as the target, you have to be willing to pay for that. Refleege is another card that, like, has reductions against hand traps and those effects.
All these hits are meant to be like, we are taking the mind of like what the actual meta game on top of the actual point costs are, so we're doing that. But
yeah. The next block is
Dancer's cost,
towers. Yeah. Liger Dancer to 51 because that's a towers, and people could at 0 points play 2, which means you have 2 unaffected boss monsters in an OTK deck.
I only can play 1 ever.
Rongo Miniad went to 68. Thank God, that guy sucks. Great
Nice,
King
probably
Magnus,
won't play
King of the
him.
Computer, went to 33 because that was a thing that people were doing with Super Quants, was making an unoutable guy.
They made it now where you can only run one Portrayal Noir because you're probably running 3s of the other 3 cards below
X Portrayal Noir went to 33 points because that becomes an
Actually,
unoutable guy, and so they reduced the
Anyway,
cost points
60,
of the other
81.
Pearlies.
You can't even play X-Portrayal Noir, actually. You're running 3 of the other cards, unfortunately.
Well, they're 10 points now, so you could fit those in.
No, it'd go to 81 if you have 3 of each of those.
Well, that's if you're playing 3 of each. You might not, like, Pearly and Pearlily were limited before. You could fuck with the ratios, but
I guess you put this to 2 and maybe cut the
it's one of those things where you can play with it, but your deck will not be running anything else besides a Pearly package to make Noir if you do that. They did a lot of Xyz shit here, is all being points increase your points
That
reduced,
is
got rid of
surprisingly
Girl,
very
being the
dense and
manga.
very effective if you can make it work.
Yeah, Grand Entrance got reduced because they decided to hit some of the monsters.
The one hit they made to Psychic is Dragon Drive, which is like, I guess that might fuck up
And
my
that's
ratios if I ever bother to like
maybe,
do
but
high
that's
level.
fair because that's
That is-
like it's just a very free extender if you're playing the right decks with like 3s and stuff. Wind Up Hunter got boosted a little, Zenmaity went down a little, and then the last second to last block is just all these cards in Centurions, Ninjas, etc. is all just
they saw the problem card of Hunter. It was
well,
not
yeah,
the
that.
problem.
But all these next hits, let me check if this is framed up. Yeah, mostly. So they said that there was a whole shitload of decks that were overperforming in testing, but that people were not playing, so they want to slowly step down their points levels. So that includes 6 Sams, Centurions, Ninjas still. They changed some stuff up with Snake Eye. They changed some Labyrinth stuff around, so the traps are cheaper, but Big Lady is more expensive. Just a little
your big deck is, I think, like,
yeah, no, my
your
Dragon
one-
Maids got
the homeless Dragon Maid
50%
got
cheaper.
points now.
Yeah, they unemployed Dragon Maid went to 10 points, which is probably fair. She's a pretty good part of a lot of decks, but they reduced a lot of the other Dragon Maid costs, which is nice because that deck 20 for ladies is like really expensive. She just summons a guy from deck and then summons only a small Dragon Maid, by the way, level 4 or lower, and fuses on your next standby phase, so like in your opponent's turn. So like she's cool, she's very integral to the combos. She was probably not worth 20 points. She doesn't even have protection, you know, your opponent just imperms her and you're cooked, kind of a thing. Regis is a really powerful card though. They reduced a lot of Sword Souls and Tenyis to go down. Did some similar stuff, so like nobody was playing Adventure, so they made Wandering Griffin Rider, which is the accessible negate, really expensive, but they made all
It
the
looks
other
like you
stuff
played
zero.
Branded again.
Yeah, so that was a thing they preemptively bumped. They made Fallen of the Virtuous, which is a very powerful tech card outside of Branded even, like cheap, because they thought people would want to play 3 copies. It turns out that Branded players are comfortable playing 1 copy of it, so they rejiggered the ratios back.
Yeah, because now you probably don't really change the ratios anymore because it basically means like you're running each one of those like the dragons anyway, so it probably just makes it easier.
Sorry, I'm looking at the incoming machine to 0, but Full Metal Dragon to 33. Well, you don't need to play 3 Full Metal Dragon, but I guess if you're playing a Metalmorph package and something like a Branded, you don't want to give them an extra negate. That's still a little weird, but it is an Omni negate that's just tribute like a level 7 or higher dragon to get out from your deck, kind of a thing. So it's like, and when it's in your hand, it shuffles itself back to search the Metalmorph trap. So like that's probably a decent package. Light End and Dark End
And then-
going to 1 is good for Dragon Maids.
They have to
And then
cost
just
1 just so like you can't cheese them.
Yeah. Well, because they they banish a card from your extra and are like a few, like they're probably too good to have it free because Light and Darkness Dragon Lord uses those cards, so like you don't want to be perfect. And then the rest of this stuff is just they did a lot of staples: Assault Synchron to 1, Change of Heart from 10 to 7, Snatch Steal from 7 to 5, Dominus Impulse down to 20, Karma Cannon
I
to
still
3.
think that's just not worth it.
Duality to 3 is good. Pre-Mat to 3, Monster Reborn to 5. Don't like that. That means you could run three Monster Reborn. Hate that. Return from Different Dimension and Dimension Fusion, both 40 points, is interesting. So a lot of people have very positives about this to the Genesis format. It seems like they're doing stuff. We will probably run a Genesis night. Well, it'll be next year, but we'll be running one before too long to try this out. I would love to take this and rebalance my Dragon Maid deck. Try some other weird shit. Like maybe I can make try and make Metalmorph work. That's a very fun deck that's absolutely not doing anything in TCG. And there's a lot of cool stuff here, so give me a second, chat, to transition us to the Trench Crusade side, though. I don't know, Axe told me before, you know, this was his idea, so he will be running the show a little bit while I will attempt to keep up with the presentation. But
yeah.
I know you have the plans to start at the timeline.
The timeline.
Do you have a preamble of what Trench Crusade is for the people at home?
Sure. It's not going to be the most eloquent thing, but one moment as I just grab some things. But yes, it's like... So, I guess I worry with this. As shown by certain wargame settings of Necromunda, or Warhammer Fantasy, or I guess even other things like other wargames that exist, Trench Crusade is weird in that it's, or more of it's simple. It is, you take the occult side of what like people see out of Warhammer, you take like the chaos stuff, and then you just make it actual religions and the dark side occult stuff of that. I think
I've got the
it's World War
here.
One
I think
religious
I can
wars.
run this a little simpler for the people at home if you're familiar with mass media. So Weird War is a very respected pulp genre from both World Wars, because there was a lot of occult stuff. It's good. I can vamp while Axe is away for a second. But Trench Crusade is a war game setting that is explicitly occult. You can see right here the basic idea, and we will go into depth of like how this came about and when and why, because like I said, Axe will run through the timeline. But basically, hell on earth has happened, and demons are real. The demons of hell are real, and they are marching forth. And so a collected force of the nations of the faithful, there's a few different groups, are here to stop them and stop the Great Satan. There's a few different factions that we'll talk about in detail, but the aesthetics of this are... It is a grim and dark setting, but it is not grimdark in the way that 40k is. I would say that it makes the Catholic and medieval occult undertones of 40k... They're no longer subtext, chat. They're just text, is how we'll say that. They're just textual.
It is a crusade, so...
Yes, it is a Trench Crusade. They do say it is set in 1914, so it is meant to imitate World War I. But also, there's plenty of weird anachronisms, both front and back. You know, I'm pretty sure that I remember rightly, and if Axe doesn't have this idea somewhere in here, I might have to grab their art. But there are like anti-tank Zweihanderman from Prussia, and they attack tanks with greatswords.
I don't know those guys. I more think about the
I think
communicants.
the Prussian stuff might be small, but like I said, that's anachronistic the reverse way, because that's like Landsknechts are like, you know, pike and shot, like Renaissance, you know, Gothic period stuff. On the other side, there are also things like the I've forgotten what they're called, the mechanical soldiers of the like trench pilgrims. They're like they have like
things.
Mobile
the communicants or like the mechanized infantry?
No, they're mechanized infantry. Thank you. They're actually like mechanical suits. They have like diesel punk mecha suits, which is also not actually World War I. So you know we have anachronisms back and forth. There's both, you know, classical you know, Arabic alchemy. The demons have access to classical medieval goetic magic, like straight out of the King Solomon type shit. So
here is a mechanized heavy infantry guy.
Yep.
There are also versions of these, but we'll get to those later.
So yeah, like there's
because the hell versions have naval versions that have like deep sea versions of these guys.
Yeah, I believe that if I remember right, that's one thing is there's like a warband variant.
So this
there's like a naval.
Also, the side thing I should mention in the background of this was probably some giant hell monster that was killed in the background.
Yeah.
Usually made it because hell has a lot of industry, and it's usually metal that they just staple together into flesh.
Yeah.
I will say this: we're probably not going through all of the Black Grail stuff because that stuff bothers me.
That's fair.
That's
That
fair.
would also, that is the more body horror side. That is probably what would push.
It's also
our
because
ability to show on YouTube.
it's. We'll say, I mean, like people have shown it before, but like usually not for that long. But
Yeah,
we'll avoid dwelling on
wanna
stuff.
We
But
don't
like,
want to play rules.
but I will first start with this of I think let's get. I think I'm just gonna get the normal image. I think let's get a good image for this one moment. I think it's just a good showing.
Do a
of
little,
this
yeah.
stuff.
We'll have to do a little bit of. And also, actually, real life backstory. The company that makes this game is like all kickstarted.
Yeah.
It is technically model agnostic. I think. I do believe they do sell like physical product now, but when they started, it was a lot of like.
It's like.
Yeah, it was like STC files and stuff. So
I guess as a
it
side
really is
note-
kind of like grassroots, ground up style wargaming.
One moment is I can see. I'm gonna try if I can find a better, high quality version of this image. One moment.
Let me make sure to get the name of this company correct. But this
okay,
this
it
is
looks like I
a
can't,
factor
just look at-
I'm okay with because old heads will know. I
As
am
just
a
as an image,
purveyor
put
of
for
the weird
timeline,
World War
one
One.
moment. I will say this. I couldn't find a higher quality version of this image, so I'm gonna grab one that is an approximation. So it actually has that quality size, but yeah, it's like
Yeah, that is a postage stamp, unfortunately. Okay, this is like a
I could not. This is an approximation of it, but like I feel like you put it next to each other, just be like, because I couldn't find one that's actually of a higher size for some fucking reason.
How big is that one? That one's pretty big, so we gotta shrink that down to fit on the current canvas. Let's do like a 50%. Is it still? Are you still in frame? Out of frame. Can I zoom this out a little?
Actually, here's a better version. It's not a 3D model; it's actually an image.
In.
Yeah, that is actually a better image.
Yeah, you could probably not use the 3D model one. You could probably get rid of that one.
You got a better one?
Yeah.
Okay, yes,
This is just to show you just like a thing, because this is just like this doesn't really matter. This is just a random saint. This is the Dominica of the Highlander, who just has I think a blessed Highlander. I don't. That's really it. She's also based off the real Saint Dominica.
Yeah,
Yeah,
from what I understand, they got a few cute historical references.
I mean, anytime any sort of material takes from any historical period, you're gonna get some form of callbacks to those people and figures.
I just feel like showing her is probably a good example of just like what kind of aesthetic we're going for on like the non-World War end of things. That or a very specific thing that I think. One moment.
It does make me wonder if it's funny that there was a lot of not drift is not the right word, but there was a lot of call to crossover with 40K. Because obviously, like I said, this takes a lot of the subtext of 40K's grim, dark future with its vague Catholicism and makes it textual. But I am kind of surprised that, like, well, actually, sorry. It's a little mean of me to think, but to say that, like, I'm kind of surprised there doesn't feel like there's more, like, Dark Soulsian crossover. But also, that would require them to assemble a lore that is in a singular text block all at once, as opposed to watching a lore video on YouTube.
I will say I don't think you want to show this one, but I'm gonna spoil this just because I think it's a bit gruesome. But this is also one of my favorite ones, just for how like weirdly
I'll
fucked
take a
up it
gander
is.
at it. Let's see how bad.
This is the hunter of the left hand path.
Can we do that? I think we can show that. It's a little bloody, Chad, but we can show that.
But like I don't know why, but that one just like morbidly is in my brain.
It's a little. We'll leave it without me because I zoomed out my paint canvas. We'll leave it
Yeah,
on
I
the
don't want to
smaller
zoom in on it
size
because
so
it's
we
like
don't get
it's
too
grosser the more you look at it. So it's not.
Yeah, I won't blow this up anymore. We'll stay at this distance. You get the idea.
The weird thing about that is that's a guy that is associated with the weird forgotten gods that are beyond the devils. So this is something associated even weirder shit than the actual devils that rule hell.
Wait, are we getting Cthulhu as part of this as well? Let's
Yeah,
go.
it was always there. Baba
I don't know if it's explicitly Lovecraftian eldritch. You know, the Lovecraft canon has kind of like seeped into everybody's brains. But I will say this: the 1910s, like the turn of the 20th century. That's
are you sure about that, Omega?
Lovecraft time.
Are you sure about that, Omega? As I post half the beast.
I mean, that also could just be a normal. Like that's the thing. Also, demons are pretty gross.
It's something else. I mean,
Yeah.
This is very bloodborne-y also. I'm kind of again.
It is.
I feel like it reminds me of It's a very different styling from it, but it kind of reminds me of Kingdom Death Monster, which is a game
Probably,
that's like
yeah.
very, very beautifully gothic, very heavily inspired by FromSoft's work. Also, they were like, I think they had more minis than they had gameplay for a while, so they're coming at it from a different angle.
But yeah, let's get into this. So, preamble for this. The header to the timeline is the history of the Great War spans hundreds of years. However, like all tomes of recorded history, it is likely biased and inaccurate. Get that out of the way. It means that most things here probably happen in some form, but not really. At least in this setting. So, history up until I would say, I guess, the beginning of the 12th century, perfectly has the same thing as expected to what we know, supposedly. 1099. The First Crusade captures Jerusalem. The Knights Templar then commit the act of ultimate heresy. The gate of hell is opened on Earth, and Jerusalem is destroyed in the Cataclysm.
Whoops.
I like to think this is a hell nuke happened. I can think a giant. I would say like in a weird Doom sense, because I weirdly feel like if this game reached like the 3000s or something, it's just Doom.
I mean, yeah, all
Yeah,
you need to do is
fair.
I think if I remember rightly, I read in like just some blurb. Apparently, the church has like a space program in like the late 1800s.
I'll
so,
get
like,
there.
yeah.
It's funny when you think about it, because I
okay.
was gonna joke about that, like the space happened about like 60
I'm just
years
saying,
before
all
we
you
think
need
it
to
did.
do is all you need to do is when they get to Mars, there is another Hellgate there, and it's just like, well, that's Doom.
Well, also, I mean, I also think the modern Doom were like of like converting it into actual energy, but it's basically converting souls. Whatever. All right, so
That's a bad idea. You shouldn't use
1101.
hell as an unlimited source of power. It's a bad idea. Never
Well, 'cause
works.
it turns out it's based off souls, so it's not even unlimited. The year of three battles. Heretics, reinforced by the armies of the third circle of hell, conquer most of the Levant. I do not know what the Levant is, but I assume you guys would.
Middle East. It's an
Okay, the Middle
old way of
East,
saying the Middle East. The Levant. Levantine coast
Fair.
is like.
I will say this setting is
Jerusalem, that
weirdly
area.
stuck in between like the fifth. It's weirdly stuck in like the 12th century as a concept. It's
Well, I
stuck
mean,
as
Well, I mean,
like
it's
a,
one of those things of like, you start a forever hell
aesthetically-
war that lasted 800 years. You know, you like that kind of.
It's weird because it's not been that because it's been back and forth. It's weird.
But I mean,
Well, I
it's
mean,
not,
I
it's
assume
not
that-
ended in any significant portion, so therefore.
I would assume the war is still ongoing, even if the forces against the demons push them back, because the hell portal's still open, so demons still can come out of it, which is bad.
Actually, with that, demons actually cannot, because there's a thing about, because if they came out, angels would come, and that means the whole planet would probably just get nuked by divine powers. So, yeah. So actually, demons don't actually come out. Demon equivalents do, which means things made by hell or things blessed by hell do come out.
Okay, so the big demons themselves don't leave, but their
No,
powers come through.
it's like Doom enemies. They're all mutated humans.
Be careful.
Yeah, no, you are right. Yeah, because I remember hearing about this. That basically, like, if any of the major demons or even just a full-blooded demon step foot on Earth, that gives heaven the rights to basically be like, all right, smite it.
And
Well, you
Earth
know,
is
they're
probably
not supposed
destroyed, but just do that again. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of like, it's open-ended, but from what like I said, I refreshed myself in the lore earlier today. What I get the vibe is that, like, that's the reason why the Abrahamic God and the angels do not intervene, is because that would require doing a lot of damage to creation. So if they don't have to do it, that's better.
They might just do a flood, honestly, if they had to. Flood all of hell. Be funny.
The ultimate drain.
All right, time to build the second arc.
In space. Space arc.
Anyway. Space Ark would be cooler. I think that's what the church is doing, but anyway.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Anyway.
Alright, so. 1102. The ancient city of Antioch is fortified and becomes the focal point of resistance against the forces of hell. 4 years later, 1106. Kobar becomes the first tyrant of the 66. I don't know what this means, but it sounds cool.
I will
no,
say
I
this.
think
This seems to be a critical part of Trench Crusade's way it does world building, is sometimes they just say stuff, and you're just like, damn, that's metal.
I mean, yeah, because it's like there's Dominica the Gwander right there on the right side of the screen, and like she was around for like a year. She looked cool though. I will say there are some units that are literally just ladies with like their tits covered in blood, but that's only like 2 art.
Yeah, the Stigmatic Sisters.
Yeah.
We're not gonna look at
The
that.
game is entirely just like I would say Christian death metal as a game.
Which you would think would be an oxymoron, but it really isn't.
It's not, because Christianity is super occult. People they just like trying to forget that. They think try to pretend it isn't.
No, there's a lot of.
How was it real?
Years of...
How was fan fiction made by Dante Alighieri to tell like political stories about like Italy?
Well, not
He's not
actually
wrong on that
100%
one.
true. There's. I mean, the current. I wanted to ask that earlier, but I got sidetracked. Is it the Alighierian circles of hell?
Oh, we'll get into it, but it's kind of like it. You can tell me if I'm
so
wrong
it's-
or right, because
it's
I know you
similar.
memorize Inferno pretty well, so you can correct me on that.
But yeah,
So-
no. I will say this: there were different interpretations of the concept of hell prior to Dante, but Dante popularized one exact style of it because he had shit to say about real
I will
life
say,
politics and how humans
Dis
approach
is in
virtue.
this. The city of Dis is in this. Anyway, 3 years later, 1109, the Great Sultan of the Invincible Iron Wall, the two horns that pierce the sky, is formed. Yes, that is the whole name. You say it every time.
That's a name. Oh, is it like a pimp named Slickback?
No, it's not like
Yes, I
Cetra's
believe
name.
so.
Give me
It's
one.
not like Cetra, who literally has like 80 titles. And he kills you if you don't say all 80 of them.
I mean,
Uh,
Max might be a little young to catch a pimp named Slipback. That's a Boondocks.
I'm 27. I don't know, man.
Yo, well, did you watch? I think I was like 12 or 13 when the Boondocks was on.
Oh yeah,
Adult
the
Swim.
Boondocks. Okay, I need to
Yeah.
watch all that at some point, but I don't know.
Probably.
Anyway, I'm not going
It's,
into
it's a
that.
cultural
Anyway,
milestone. Anyway, the joke
the
of,
point of
of
it
a
is,
pimp named
in the
Slickback
coming
is you say
decades-
the whole thing.
That's right. In the coming decades, it unifies the Islamic factions. The Great Iron Wall of Iskander reemerges and is fortified against the heretics. 8 years later, the legendary 17 martyrs traveled to the earthly domains of hell to convert the heretics. Captured, tortured, and kept in a perpetual state of agony, they remain trapped in white-hot brazen bowls to this day.
Whoops.
How does that fuck around? We now go to 1165, one of my favorite parts of this. The Old Man of the Mountain and the Hassashians defend the mountain fortress of Alamut. The castle stands this very day despite being besieged for hundreds of years. Yes, also the Old Man of the Mountain is a big part of the Islamic faction because he also leads the Death Cult assassins. They are part of the shock troops for the actual faction.
No, that's. I can make my joke. No, that's just real.
And I'll say this: we're gonna briefly take a side tangent to actually show the art of those guys because that's actually a really cool thing.
Well, that would be what we're here for.
So, here is one of the Death Cult. Here's one of the actual assassins. The Islamic. I think it's
yeah,
really,
that is just
really
straight
fucking
up.
cool art.
Yeah.
Casino.
Yes.
Pretty normal.
They might also have actual esoteric magic because all the Islamic stuff's more tied into actual like occult, alchemy magics and like ancient Kabbalic stuff. Not Kabbalic, but that was correct on that.
That is I mean that's alchemy. I mean it's originally from like alchemia, same root as the word chemistry. That is all Arabic in origin, so that does track.
It is also that like also all these assassins are usually they are fed poisons at birth or young ages and basically fed to poison where they are immune to every toxin except like a very specific poison they make that kills anyone upon touch.
Oh, so they're just
That's
Serenity.
very- Yeah, that's a good one, but also that's a very Indian subcontinent myth, Vishakanya, Poison Girl.
To quote it, in chthonic chambers deep below the surface, generations of young assassins are raised, where they are then fed an awful, bitter diet rich of strange toxins. Generation by generation, their tolerance grows until the blood of these willing vessels is drawn and smelt into a poisonous iron. This iron is forged into wicked curving blades, and deadly spells of slaying are layered to every fold of toxic metal. Deadly, the red-haired blades are quenching the venom of the pale, unnatural offspring of a basilisk and a manticore. Thus, the blood of the first generation of assassins still lives as they growing more potent with each generation. Their blades are really made of like blood poison.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a lot of.
It's really hardcore. But considering what you fight in these things, it's not that it's not overkill. I will say it's not overkill for what you're fighting. So, after past that, we then go to 1215 to 1306, which is the wars of Trifondism? I cannot say this. Just one moment, let's grab this word.
Triclavianism. Clavianism?
Triclavianism.
Yeah, there's 2 eyes. 3 eyes, actually.
The church is split and fight. Also, well, most churches do. They fight themselves.
Well, this is a particularly silly one because this is... I don't think there was a war
It's also
about this, but this is
the
actually
last
a,
91
like...
years. This is 91 years of war.
In real life, there is actually a discussion about this concept. This is about, because I remember reading about this earlier, this is about whether or not Jesus was crucified with 3 or 4 nails.
Oh my god. I also mentioned this in Trench Crusade, because we don't come up directly. They have cloned. They cloned Jesus Christ and then feed the corpse parts of the cloned Christ to make communicants, to make Space Marines.
Because
Yeah,
you guys forgot.
There's 18 of those.
Mendelian genetics was a Catholic monk. Was Mendel? So I might have been Calvinist actually. I don't know, but he was an actual Christian monk. So hey, the Mendelian genetics is real. It's also real in real life, but yeah, no.
They feed the corpses to things to make something as to briefly talk about this because I think it's also worth showing. One moment as I pull this out.
They cloned Big J to feed his corpse to people.
Yep.
Yes, they make dudes like this. This is a communicant and a special ammo priest. This is a tank hunting communicant.
Yeah, so there are people like to joke that there are equivalents to Space Marines in this setting.
Fucked up, actually.
Way more fucked up. They are occult giant men powered by the clone blood.
You also can notice that their skin is literally engraved with like Bible passages.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fucking belt of ammo acting as like a belt and like fucking waist.
They are great designs.
No, this is
They are
this is
very
great
great
look.
fucking
And
design.
I do love the idea that like this guy is so tall and has a rifle so big.
Oh,
We
should
can't
mention
have
this.
him carry his own mags. We need to have a priest with him just to carry them for him.
I should call this the guys that are the support monks are called the Mendelist monks to support what you said earlier. Mendelist genetics.
Yeah. They're Gregor Mendel. In real life, he
I will
did
say
invent
this:
it.
the communicants are just to show this because it's like I feel like there's another time this will actually come up in the discussion. Communicants are partakers of the experimental chemical communion, the blend flesh harvested from a metachrist by the Mendelist monks and applied to a genome of volunteers. The most holy and pious of the church are just to partake of the experimental communion, going through many biological changes to become larger and more durable, greatly enhancing their effectiveness on the battlefield. The divinely enhanced strength allows them to carry and shoot massive anti-material guns such as a normal soldier would wield a simple rifle. Let's see here. Process is also uncertain. However, the possibility of unpredictable side effects, some lose their ability to speak, or their higher brain function become distracted by the heavenly choir only they can hear, requiring exact commands from their handlers. Yes, so, experimental genetics do experimental genetic things.
It's just real simple.
So, like,
but also
what
because-
time? What time
1914
period is
the
this supposed to be?
equivalent.
This is about, I would say this is about the 20th to 19th century.
Yeah, accelerating
then
through the
I have-
timeline in
I-
order from the.
I do have one problem, and
It starts at 1066, but the current game line, which would probably be what most of
Is
this art
1914.
reflects, is
so it's definitely
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
accelerated technology then.
Oh, we'll get to that. Oh, we'll get to that. There's a bit there. You'll I'll say this prize.
to catch you up a little, Dallas. So, mankind is in a forever war against the literal legions of hell, and have been doing it for
Yeah,
about
World War
800
Satan.
years. So, yeah, World War Satan. So, yes, you're right. Technology is advanced in some areas, but stagnated in others. So it's weird. It's weird.
Well, I just mean like, because like, genetic experiments would not be happening at this time. Genetics was not a thing until 1910.
Well, yeah, but like I said, Mendel was. He didn't call it genetics because I don't think they did.
That's true, but that was still like 1870, I think.
Gregor Mendel is, let's see, father of modern genetics. He's called because the pea plants. Let me
Yeah,
double check.
I think the plant thing was like the 1870s. Regardless, I just wanted to make sure what the time period was, because everyone just kept calling it World War Satan, which isn't helpful. Not you, online.
Yes. Yeah. 1860s, but was rediscovered in the 1900s. Literally in 1900. So yeah, that is I believe that is even in the timeline. That like,
Also,
they're still
here's
called the
another-
Mendelists, but it's wouldn't be normal for Mendel. But
Here's
we're-
another image communicant, just to show them, because there's variants.
Oh, yeah, that last guy was ranged. This guy's melee, obviously.
Oh yeah.
This image is very large.
That's some nice aesthetics. I like the stained glass thing.
That's just painted wood,
I think-
actually. It's not stained glass.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think that's a
Oh.
normal. I forget what that type of thing is called. Oh, my professors are crying.
Bible
Took
Christianity.
2 semesters of humanities. Can't remember what it's called.
But like, yes. We will. I think we'll take it to the
It's a
time. We'll
very
probably
specific
cover.
form.
I will do a once over of all like the factions and things like that, just to show like highlights. But all right, after those war, we then have. I think one moment is like grab a thing for this ahead of time because I think this is worth having a thing ahead of time. Because we're gonna go into something utterly questionable. No, that's too much. That's too much. Yeah, let's do this. I say, okay, like first, there we go, because I think it has to be that.
Totally.
1376
Thank
to 1353 to 1376. Beelzebub unleashes the Black Grail. Tens of billions are infected, becoming metastatic vessels in the worst plague in the history of mankind. The corpse wars begin.
Yeah, so the Black Plague happened when it was explicitly Beelzebub, and this time you're lucky if it just kills you.
Yes, because
A zombie.
I will say this. This is if you here is the basic troop. This is a Grail for all. This is basically if the disease giant flies don't kill you immediately or don't turn you into a giant plague monster.
Drink the Kool-Aid.
Don't actually. Do
Yeah,
not
no.
drink the Kool-Aid. It is life worth. You become something that exists outside of time and space.
How big is this?
I'm looking
I
at the
think
guy
I'm
on the
fine.
right of the previous image. He's just like got the cup.
Yeah, I'm like actually disgusted.
Not a great,
Oh,
not
yeah.
a great idea, but you know, whatever.
Yeah. This is the Lord of Tumors. This is like literally one of their high like priests of the Black Grail. This is like one of their highest things because the Black Grail basically runs like a religious organization as well, which is funny. Yes, just I'll bring that up. Also, the giant Claymore lady from the beginning, she became a saint from fighting Black Grail people. She died fighting, which is I think probably a mercy.
Well, also, I mean, you know, I don't know how much this gets into it, but I had to do a lot of this work for Raid. But typically, martyrdom is a key aspect of being sanctified.
Yes. Living Saint John d'Arc drives the in 1429. Living Saint John d'Arc drives the Black Grail from mainland Europe.
Good work.
Took that long. 1477. The city of Argos is taken by God and is no more.
Yes, I remember reading about that. That's a meme in the community
just
because we just don't explain that. We just say God took Argos and that's it. That's all we know.
Yes. 1503. War prophet Angelos, guided by Saint Eligius, discovers the form of orichalcum steel. Though incredibly costly to produce, this metal proves to be effective against all missile weapons and is still used to this day. Uh, 42 years later, at 1545, we have Antioch destroyed utterly by a mysterious internal weapon. I always imagine this as a weird like nuke, as a magic nuke happened internally or something.
Seems pretty.
No one
pretty-
knows.
Pretty fair. Also, by the way, that's very
Or a
funny
demon.
because I believe Antioch was wiped out
It was also the
several
main
centuries
place to
before
get.
in real life.
Weird thing about that is Antioch was reinforced in 1101 to be the main, 102 to be the main resistance point against Hell.
Yeah, I think that
It
was
lasted 400 years more than you expected.
Yeah, as I say, I think that's supposed to be like a well, they put it in the timeline, but that's supposed to be a fracture point to real life because historically Antioch was like I said actually wiped out.
Yes.
I mean, when Hell invades, the timeline certainly does change.
Yes. 1573. The Sacred Order of the Dragon halts the heretic advance after the destruction of Byzantium. 1 million heretics impaled in the hills of Wallachia. So yes, Vlad the Impaler is doing a lot of good work.
Seems pretty normal for him.
A billion. I think I don't think he killed a billion people, but like I think there was a lot of people, there's a lot of heretics to kill in this world.
Yeah.
There might also be that people believe that he might be actually a vampire, and that might not be that far off because he might be still around as like a divine tyrant killing heretics by impaling them. Someone's got to do all the work. God isn't doing all the work, you know.
I automatically like this game because.
Sorry, I'm just not to cut you off, Dallas. I was just gonna say, Joshua Graham would fit right in here. It's 1914. He could have a 1911. They could be invented. Actually, that wouldn't necessarily be true because I believe the game largely ignores New World colonization because we have to worry about the Hell War. So there's no John Moses Browning in Utah.
We also think about Asia, but I also don't think they want to go into that yet.
I mean, that's probably just like they're still working on it because like that would be if they're on the other side of the Iron Wall, that would be the reverse side. You know, like the Caliphate would still be able to, or the Iron Sultanate would still be able to talk to them through the Silk Road. It's just one of those.
We will go through. I will go through some like peak, or I guess those are some highlights of stuff in the sections at the end of this. But yes, I just want to show the others. Like so. All right then. At 1595, the walls of New Antioch are completed. They built a new one because it worked last time, and it stands to this day. So now we're 300 years. So like it just might be destroyed every 400 years, but they still got another like 80 in there. We then jump a big while to 1666, the year of 6 woes. In a surprise raid, the new created heretic fleet captures Gibraltar. The sea fortress becomes the heretic base of operations against Europe. Forces of Hell gain access to the Atlantic.
Yeah, so the Strait of Gibraltar is strategically important because that is the gateway out of the Mediterranean.
Which means, surprisingly, even if they're in Jerusalem, they just don't have ships, which means they have to like go through land mostly. But it's like,
well, I mean that's the thing, right? If you don't control Gibraltar, you can't go anywhere further than the Mediterranean, because certainly I don't think anybody's going to dig the Suez Canal in this continuity.
I was thinking Jerusalem. It's like, can't they just go south though? I guess there's some reason to keep going south.
Well, if you go south, you end up in the Arabian Peninsula. That's desert.
Yeah, desert and then ocean.
They're hell creatures. Half the units are like automatons.
Like, I mean, it's a factor of logistics, right? If you like, what's south that's strategically viable? It's it's deserts full of Bedouins. There's not going to be a population density to like capture territory. And if you punch all the way through to the Red Sea, then that means you got to drag boats overland to put them in the Red Sea.
I guess I should mention that like Hell, the heretics, the heretical factions have at least the ones that are just actually just humans and not just like specifically under one of the specific devils and like their weird machinations they have a slave commodity as money instead of actual money. Like also as like foot soldiers.
Jesus Christ. Sorry, I'm looking because I wasn't here for the beginning of it, so I didn't get the intro.
Same.
How young is this game?
2 years.
Yeah, I think
wow. Okay, for a game that relatively young, this game has a shit ton of hilarious controversy about it.
I mean, it's about.
I mean, don't worry. All the all the right people hate it, so I have every reason to believe it's made in good faith.
I mean, yeah, I chose this topic for my birthday, so I don't really want to talk about that because it's not really relevant.
That's fair.
It's just Dallas is googling it, and he's
it's just very funny.
No, yeah, they're pretty new. But yes, where was Waze?
Antioch, I think. Or New Antioch.
Who are, if I recall correctly, their forces of New Antioch are one of the major playable factions.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Looking at their symbol, they look like a old wizard man with no eyes.
I think I understand, Mr. Eyes.
where was I? 1670, due to the coastal raids by the heretic fleet, the Crown of England begins the construction of the Fortress of the White Cliffs.
Not the White Cliffs of Dover.
1703, against the odds, a small force of Hebrew knights striking near the secret fortress destroy the Templar stronghold at Arche. Or ACRE, so it's like Arche. See?
Acre, isn't it?
Acre, okay. I guess I want to see Hebrew Knights now, because that's actually a thing, which means it's probably actually like a fucking, just literally a Jewish knight order. Okay. That'd be cool. Jewish Knights and Golems, okay. 1805, we just jump 102 years. A heretic fleet under the command of High Captain Ronga defeats the fleet of England in the Battle of the Bloodied Cliffs. Admiral Nelson is slain in combat. 1807, Ire is invaded. 1866, in the utmost secrecy, scientists aided by the demon Marbus construct the first modern submarines.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Very advanced. Demonic submersibles. Well, you know, you don't have the Revolutionary War for that guy to experiment with that, so.
Yeah.
God, wait, shit. Also, that means there'd be no American Civil War with the invention of monitors and ironclads.
I don't know if there's an America.
I was about to say. Well, there probably
Well, yeah,
is, but it's
well,
not like
I mentioned this
English.
earlier. I'm pretty sure there was no New World colonization phase because of reasons. So yeah, the New World, obviously the Americas still exist, but they're doing different stuff. There's probably like, you know, steampunk Incas or Aztecs fighting biblical demons right now.
All right, now I kind of want to see that. That would be cool.
Tezcatlipoca is real, and he told Satan, "Fuck off, we're full."
Well, I don't think there's actually a direct Satan, because it's all like there's specifically like the 7 devil lords, and there's also way more demons in hell than that.
If I remember correctly, the way it is they point out that this goes back to older style medieval where Lucifer and Satan are separate. So there is supposed to be like a triumvirate of hell. But
King
there's
knows this for SFC,
7
where yeah, I always put this as Satan is not. To me, Satan is not. He is not the revolutionary. He is meant to be the warden of hell. Hell is meant to keep all the demons in there. It's not meant for humans.
It just depends on what theology you subscribe to.
Correct.
Because there are some that even demons are humans who have been tortured in hell and then turned into demons.
All I can say is that Paradise Lost has done untold amount of damage to the human collective unconsciousness.
You are not wrong. But then again, so is the internet.
We is how we is. Also, Chad, I apologize that you're staring at this Crusade guy for a while. Axe has not fed me a new smart asset in a little bit.
I am sorry.
It's okay, we're running down the line. I'm just saying. I tagged back over to my preview and I'm like, oh yeah, Gross Out McGee's still here.
Look, it's just one of Father Nurgle's righteous followers. It's fine.
Oh yeah, right. That's what you do. Right. That's what you like.
Well, you know.
As someone that has like
I'm pretty sure it's a play on what the fuck's his name?
It's the Lord of Tumors.
No,
Well,
because is this a faithful guy or a heretic?
No,
guy?
they're heretic.
This is a heretic.
Okay.
Have a
Black
Plague
Veil
Knight
stuff
instead. Have a Plague Knight in the meantime.
Gotcha.
Lord of the Flies.
What I was gonna say, the imagery at least is at least somewhat related to the whatchamacallit, but he's a good guy, so.
Anyway, use a Plague Knight instead. I think this look cooler.
Yeah,
But
Baldwin.
side note, these are basically I'll read these. These are the lowest ranking in the nobility of the Court of the Black Grail. These armored great warriors are once truly depraved worshippers of Beelzebub. When the Lord came for them, they willingly submitted themselves to the authority of the Lord of Flies. As a result, they retained semblance of sentience and ability to wield weapons they did in life. They inspired to, in favor in the eyes of Beelzebub, one day be promoted to the hierarchy of the Order of the Fly, which is interesting to say the least, because it's like you have to think about like how fucked up and hardcore all the people in the setting are.
You know, sin is real.
Sin is real, and we're all going to hell.
Actually, no.
Well,
There's a
not
question on
everybody's
that,
going to
actually.
hell. Hell is real, and you can go there on a tourist trip. You will not come back.
You really shouldn't. It's
No,
not
you
worth it. But we'll talk about that
unless
later.
you're one of the big chunguses of the setting. But
We'll talk about that later because there's a whole thing about the process.
this is I will say this Plague Knight design. This feels like a Bloodborne
Mosquito.
inspired design, but if they like had if FromSoft was like doing AAA like Liquid Sims type stuff, like he's really slick and gooey, but also
maybe this is just me. A lot of these designs remind me a lot of Darkest Dungeon, except for the one guy with the gun.
They're all art by the same guy though, so it's all one dude that made most of this art.
That's true, but they're very Darkest Dungeon like. If it was more like not stylized.
Darkest Dungeon would be
Once
really
again,
poor if like it's this aesthetic if it was comic book aesthetics instead of
Well,
just like
once
actual
again,
like.
with the exception of the dude with the trench gun.
I still think we would consider like the best example of the cool part of the setting.
I like Trench Gun guy also. That guy.
The Menless Monk is also just cool. He's just like a guy holding a giant fuck off pile of ammo. Anyway, where are we? Right. 1870. Launch of Gibraltar, the heretic submarines extract a heavy toll on the merchant navies. Widespread famine ensues. 1872. Heretic forces storm the city of Rijeka? Rijeka.
Rijeka. Sounds close enough.
Something like that, yeah. I'm not familiar with it off the top of my head, so.
Is it weird that, like, hold on, sorry, hearing that, like, oh, they didn't colonize America, that means Australia doesn't exist, so it can't get any worse.
Do you want the
I think
pronunciation?
it means all the native people are just living in Australia, which is a whole other thing. It's probably
I do know the pronunciation for that city, because it is a real city.
I mean, yes, I just don't understand.
Yeah.
It's
So I asked if I spell it to you guys.
Rijeka. It's Croatian, so
Assume.
J's don't exist.
Ah,
Yeah.
Okay. It is fortified and heretic conquest is launched against the European mainland. 1874, 22 years later, the year of Broken Trinity. The Death Commandos simultaneously assassinate the Supreme Pontiff, the High Popiness Alea, and the Holy Roman Emperor, who was still around. The faithful floating into turmoil. The heretic legions commanded by the Hell's nobles of the Seventh Circle and huge vanguard tanks launch a simultaneous lightning offensive in the Levant and Europe. 1890. Okay, before that, I'm gonna.
was that tanks in the Wild West times in the 1800s?
In 1894, yes, 1894.
Yeah.
Also, 1899, the Church Space 1899, the Church Space Program commences.
Yeah. To be fair, I was just about to say.
Loved astronomy.
Tanks in 1894 is not that far ahead, but then they just went. Then they just went space program. Am I right?
It's
feel about the space program being
there's a lot of just fun little lines in this.
Let me say
they
this,
don't elaborate, I don't think so. Like, I don't know what
it's
they mean
only
by
like-
space program, right? Like,
I was
do they
just
just
like, how do
have-
you feel about the space program being jumped by like 60 years?
It's very funny.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I'm just kind of, I am a little curious, like what the actual, like, what they mean by that. Like, are we just having the communicants, like, chuck guys into space, or have we invented, rocketry?
I don't know.
Like, have you used?
We've invented
Have
rocketry.
you-
Unfortunately, the first application of that is not going to space. That's shooting people with long-range rocket artillery.
Because I'm assuming magic. Because magic is real. Are you using that to accelerate?
Magic's
Space.
only really magic's more like a
Iron
hell
Suit has
thing
access to
because like everything
so-
that people have been using is mostly been like alchemical or like weird fucked up
That's
magic
still
science.
magic.
I mean,
That's
I
not
think-
not real.
It's actual magic spells though.
Like,
My
trust me,
favorite part about
it's a
this
supernatural
is,
act.
is the fact that I think Axe said the church launches the space program.
Yes, it's a church.
Well, I mean,
program.
I literally just
Yeah,
said that
but-
also. The church loves astronomy, actually.
I know, but just like, we need to explore the stars for the Lord.
All right.
like the
Well,
culture.
Before
Also-
that,
whoa,
one moment is
wait,
we're gonna take a
wait,
side
one
vote.
thing. Hold on.
Stop, Dallas. Please.
Hmm?
Please stop.
Okay. Sure.
I'm going to grab you guys I'm gonna get you the Death Commandos. It's actually
Okay,
cool
so
thing.
while you're grabbing it, Dallas can say what he's gonna say.
All right, fine.
No, I don't know if I
expecting-
want to say anything.
Do it. Fine.
I genuinely forgot, so I don't fucking know.
Okay, he forgot. We did the other thing.
Here are the Death Commandos.
There is downtime baked into this operation.
Oh
Yes.
no, now I remember. Okay. No, one of my favorite settings of all time is Deadlands, and the scientific explanation they use is we take screaming ghost rocks and shove them into things, and it works. So I don't need a lot.
Good old Deadlands.
So they operate off of orc logic.
Kinda.
It's also they also use like something like weird stone. I forget the name of it. Or
It's
something.
Ghost Stone.
Yeah, it's
Ghost
it's-
Stone.
Like I
It's
said,
literally-
scream.
It's literally soul. It's literally
it's-
rock imbued of souls.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was
it's-
gonna say Ghost Rock is basically imagine if coal had screaming souls in it. That's it.
Yeah.
And maybe a little radiation there.
Yes. And also in the far future of Deadlands, people drink it.
Why?
Don't do that. That's bad.
Because it was a setting made in the 80s.
Okay, you know what? That's fair.
Actually, but yeah.
Because it's a substitute for fuel. Hence why people drink it.
Don't drink gasoline. Anyway, this Death Commando guy looks pretty cool.
Yes, so
Yes.
Death Commandos are silent killers that equip to self-generators that hide them from the eyes of God. Supposedly there's a thing that lets you use the eyes of God to detect things, a thing the church has been doing for a while. There is a thing that the church has been using, have radio crews that are basically trying to hear the voice of God, but they're not actually sure what they're hearing. That's an actual thing.
I just love the aesthetics of the phrase equipped with stealth generators to hide from the eyes of God.
Yeah.
Sure.
These terrifying infiltrators have been known to kill entire squads alone. Let's see here.
I will say this man gives Phyrexian vibe to me.
Yeah, a lot of hell is that. We're gonna get into that.
Lots of
Actually-
tubes, lots of wires sticking out, lots of.
I'm gonna do a favor for me, and please do keep
Random
the Death Commando
pale
on the screen.
needles.
I just need to also show just a thing that does not have any one moment, it's like just one moment. The thing I'm using to grab images aren't loading the images. I'm being
It happens
accosted
sometimes.
by,
God, trust me, I know. When the
it's just doing a
Wikipedia
blank
is
screen
slow.
every time. I just want to grab the moment.
We definitely say
Okay.
old school Phyrexians and definitely not new Phyrexians.
Well, I would say new Phyrexians, but not the ones under Elish Norn, because she's no, I need to paint everything white.
This is a werewolf assault beast. This is just a giant wolf beast that is covered in giant hell metal that's bolted to its skin.
Oh, that's definitely
Yeah,
old Phyrexian vibes.
Yeah, I was definitely feeling old Phyrexian though.
But yes, I'm
Like-
gonna read you guys a brief thing about the Death Commandos because I.
Is
think
it bad that I
that-
get Skaven vibes from this?
No, that's fair.
I could also
no,
see
I
Skaven.
think that works. Hold on, is that guy?
But
No,
I want to read you guys. I want to read you I guess some bits of the lore of the Death Commandos because I think it tells you a lot about the setting.
Okay.
From a very, very early age, a select group of heretic youth are sent beyond the gates of hell to be raised Death Commandos. Few are chosen, few are returned. But those who complete their training stand among the most elite of the heretic legions. They're barracked in the seventh circle of Inferno. They are taught the deadly arts of assassination by the damned souls of the greatest killers and murderers whose souls now reside in hell. Here they go undergo brutal training, master the use of all manners of weapons and poisons. They are schooled in martial arts by the personal guard of the Archdevil, Belith. They learn to sliver serpents through this battlefield, leaving murder in their wake. They have specially forged Tartarus claws, quench in the waters of the river Styx, a source of poison more potent than any mortal venom. Many carry silenced pistols. They are also created with stealth generators that operate by diffracting light using the heart of an innocent and infernal the heart of an innocent and infernal technologies that hide them from the eyes of God. So there's
Jesus
a heart of an
Christ.
innocent. Yes. What the fuck?
Okay, we have just shot past Grimdark into just what the fuck.
Exactly. There's
This
there's an
is
air
your
quality to
brain
this.
on medieval demonology. All right, so
This is what happens
what's
when
the
you
most-
chew 5 gum.
What's the most fucked up thing we can do? Okay, these guys have claws dipped in the river Styx. They kill anyone instantly. They're
They have stealth
also
generators, heart of an innocent, and infernal technology.
also, there was that comparison that the big guy was like a snake, so they're snakes now. They could snake through the battlefield. And then I'm just imagining the guy in the meeting being like, "Is that literal?" And then the other guy's, "Man, I don't know."
Yes.
It's like it doesn't have to be, but like, it could be.
It's just like, it
Just a
sounds
zoom
cool.
into the face. Yes.
Like you can also look at the image here, and you can literally see like the weird like retro futuristic like armor back on the thing at the back of the tubing, and like the actual like blood stained claws and feet they have. Also, there's chainmail under their armor, which also like shows that there's like anachronism with even the technology itself.
Well, I will say this, actually. You may say anachronism. That's not actually untrue, because it's not popularized, because everybody just kind of like has a popular image.
No, there
of
are
World War
people
I
were
in their
plate
head.
mail in like World War One, yeah.
They were absolutely experimenting with chainmail and plate mail as a way to stop bullets. It's just that it was not particularly effective against modern ammunition, so they did eventually phase it out. But they tried lots of different things. So
Plus, they also
depending on
figured out
what they're depending on what you know the faithful are using against death commandos.
From
chainmail
a
might work.
purely like studying standpoint, World War One is hilariously fascinating because it's a lot of people experimenting on like with random things all the time, being like, oh fuck it, maybe this will work. In reality, it caused it to probably be the most horrifying war of all time, I would say.
That's
It
why
makes it
yes.
a really good setting mash for something like this, where there are entities in this setting deliberately trying to cause horror. So you get a fucked up werewolf man with too many fingers, but also like that's not that weird, because also I believe that if you actually had World War I werewolves, they would have done that. They would have stuck saw blades to their face and said, "Hey, full moon, go ham on that trench raid, bud."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Yes,
Whatever works.
finish this. Let's see here. These are also the most like people like basically most things in the faithful factions are afraid of these things because I don't know why you wouldn't be. There's only like hundreds of these guys. I think that's already too many.
Like,
Amazing what you can do.
I mean, I get it, but like maybe I'm too magic brain, but this guy definitely gives off foot soldier vibe more than like
Those guys are the
terrifying
lead
dude
assassin.
vibe. I know, but I'm just saying the looks wise.
I mean, the thing is, we'd have to compare into what a foot soldier guy looks like.
Here
I
it's
don't
a
actually
here is
know
a
what
heretic. Yeah, here it is. A heretic trooper.
Yeah, that's fucked up, but that is.
That's just a dude.
Yeah, that is just a dude. Except for
that
the
does, I think, make
random-
the. Actually, hold on, let's.
Like he's wearing a dead baby, which is weird,
shrunken
but
head
like,
thing.
Beast to compare,
Yeah.
so you can leave him on. Yeah, no, it's like.
oh, is
And
that like
he's-
his
yeah.
gear? I assumed that was one of his enemies who he'd just ripped the head off of.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh no, it's well, yeah, man, I don't know.
Mummy, can we have
Is that a Sten gun or something else?
No, I don't
Mummy?
know
Can
what
we
that
have the
is,
Hellgas?
actually.
No, we have Hellgas at home.
Oh my
Wait,
god,
that's
you're
a-
right.
Yes.
No, this is Hellgast, like done
it's-
in World War One time.
Yeah, it's.
I also
diesel
should
punk
mention he
Hellgas,
has
like,
he also has the demonic sigils on his chest and on his helmet.
Yeah, no. That's a good touch. You know, he's got his air bottle, his gas mask. he's
I
got
think
the,
I've just gotta figure that like while this setting has magic in it, it's still not like ridiculously
you gotta remember,
advanced.
Dallas, it's still a tabletop war game, so like you still have your basic massed infantry guys who are just gonna be
Yeah.
the equivalent of guys with
I
guns
will-
and maybe some
I will
weird
say this, I will
tchotchkes.
use there's like 3 things left on the timeline, but I think I'll use this time to talk about actually let me finish those things and then we'll talk about actually the heretic legions because I think that's the worth time to talk about this because there's actually magic stuff that's worth showing. So, brief thing. 1907. I think it's actually before that. Mention this. The most famous, the most infamous Death Commandos are the 3 master ones of Cain, Barabbas, and Haman. There might also actually be actual fucking Cain.
The first murderer?
It might actually be Cain, yes.
I will say that is something I also like about this setting is like they're not afraid to lean into the kind of like occult, you know, Christian demonology, but also because this has been going on for 800 years, that could just be blowing smoke. Somebody could be just blowing smoke up your ass. He's like, "Yeah, I'm Cain."
I also should
Like, are you
mention
the
this.
real literal
I
Cain?
also should
And it's
mention
like,
that the maybe also mention this. All Death Commandos are at the end of their training have their tongues ceremonially ripped out, so they cannot speak.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't speak...
They will never speak of what they learned, and their unnerving silence adds to their sinister reputation. They communicate with each other with a complex set of inscrutable hand signals. They basically have, like, secret Death Commando hand signs.
Gang
That's
signs.
what you would do. Well, yeah, if you cut out your tongue.
Which basically means that, like, you could never get information out of them. Ever.
So,
Yeah.
like, do people become heretics voluntarily, or can you also, like...
That is... Yeah, so, let's see. There is a thing
Can
about
you,
that,
like,
yes.
force heretify?
There also is that, because there's a thing called the Wretched, which are basically people enslaved and caught, and they're basically forced to fight as, like, basically fodder in wars.
Okay.
But there's also, like, heretic youth, which basically means, like, things have been living around in hell for so long, there's literally generations of families that live in the areas around hell.
Yeah, I would say I think part of the implication is that you can't get cool, sick, demonic powers unless you volunteer to become a heretic. Though you
It's
can
also
still
really
be like
fucked up.
raised in the tradition of hell, so that you believe that, like, I mean, it's basically the same vibes as, like, Trader Marines and Chaos Heretics in 40K. Just again, we made the subtext. The
It's
text,
way
so they're just
easier.
like,
It's
oh,
way
yeah,
easier to be a
God's
traitor. It's way
stupid.
easier to be a chaos guy
Okay.
in 40K than be a hell guy in this setting, honestly.
Gotcha. Well, no, I was just wondering, because, like I said, I can't help it because of the art aesthetic. It's very similar.
That's
I
fair.
was just thinking of,
It's
like,
inspired, yeah.
Phyrexian started with one dude, and
That's-
eventually...
I feel like,
That's it.
you know, I don't know if they've talked explicitly about all of their kind of, like, aesthetic inspirations, but there is a long
If
history
old school,
of this
if
kind
old
of
school
fighting.
magic Phyrexia isn't one of them, they're lying. They just
We'll
are.
find out when there's going to be an interview with the main designer and like writer of the game next week of a show I like. So like I'll see about that when they interview him about it. But yeah, go back to the timeline briefly. The last three things on the timeline. 1907, the construction of the moving fortress of Britannia is completed.
Yeah, of course the Brits would make a moving fortress.
1910, the Battle of Cordoba. A bloody stalemate. Heretic artillery devastates the ancient city, but the heretic forces fail to gain access to the heartlands of Hispania.
Alright, so they don't
It's still called
Okay, so
Hispania.
the New World was discovered.
No, the original Hispania is Spain.
Oh. Okay. Never mind,
It's mostly been Europe.
Cordoba is...
It's mostly Europe and the Middle East. Russia's not all like I think Ukraine and like different areas like the Balkans come up, but like nothing about actually like Russia comes up directly.
It's Cordoba
1914, the present
is
day.
in the southern Iberian Peninsula.
Sorry.
1914, the present day. Both sides preparing for major offensive operations in the huge swath of no man's land. Furious skirmishes and raids increase in intensity as the faithful heretics vie for information, file for relics, and securely strategic important positions. Basically, the war game is now starting.
We have
1914.
It's
To me,
called
1914
Trench
means
Crusade 'cause
we're not
there's-
here. Yeah.
It's called Trench Crusade because they, you know, thanks to the Forever War, we've built giant swaths of no man's land, which are full of trenches and horrible shit. And so it's like, yeah, we're doing a war.
As one does.
Making moves.
Yes. So, I think to go back to the thing earlier said, I'm going to tell you guys what it takes to actually join the Heretic Legions.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna do
Alright.
that.
Let's see here. Among the forsaken citizens that endure the earthly domains of hell, the greatest status is afforded to the soldiers fighting in the Great War. But joining in the army of damnation is no easy task. Those who wish to win a place among the heretic legions must first make an unholy pilgrimage to the burning bronze gates of hell itself. Even from leagues away, the infernal heat emanating from the great edifice sears both flesh and spirit upon the pain becomes unbearable. In the Valley of Tears, the great road that leads to the grave is paved as it is of wailing souls and lamentations. It's littered with endless mounds of charred bodies. Most are still half alive, writhing in agony, trapped in a grotesque twilight between life and death. Their wicked is deemed insufficient. These scarred souls are doomed to writhe in agony until the day of judgment. This is all caps, or more of this is all capitalized.
This is all caps.
Or the day of judgment is capitalized.
Ah.
Which means that's a thing that's gonna happen at some point. Those who make it within sight of Hell's Maw are considered worthy of initiating into the legions, taking unbreakable vows that chain them into the darkness for all eternity. Their bodies branded with the mark of the devil lord that has claimed them. Armies of hell then equip them for battle, and heretic priests beckon forth to supplicants. As dictated by the whispers of their patron archdevil, such a new heretic legionnaire is born. They hail archdevils as their masters and thus damned for all eternity. A brief thing, let me get you the art of a heretic priest.
Yep.
Omega, here's the heretic.
Hey,
Here's
Axe.
Yes.
Axe, you don't have to ask that question at the interview. I did not realize the concept artist is Mike Francia. Or Francina?
Did you do Francina
Francina. He did the concept art for MTG Phyrexia All Will Be One.
Okay,
Cool, so-
yeah, he's
So
literally
no,
is
yeah,
the
okay.
Phyrexian artist. Okay, so they knew.
Well,
what
no,
It's that guy.
To be fair, he is the new Phyrexian artist because the old Phyrexian artist is like.
Well, yeah, but like he
I don't even know
is
if he's still
an
alive,
artist
but he's
for
done
Phyrexian aesthetics,
Phyrexian.
so
Well, the
that
vibe's there.
that means
It's
that
the
they
style.
must have showed him the old style of art because
Here's
for him
one of
to
his pieces.
imitate it.
But yes.
Yep.
Honestly, that was the weird thing about that. That reminds me of another creature. I'm gonna actually one moment. I'm gonna briefly show you something that's very similar to.
By the way,
reminds me
this
of a
heretic
puzzle,
priest
Lucas.
is like kind of what you'd expect, but is sufficiently ballin'. He's got a giant demonic sigil over his head.
So,
covered hat.
Omega, you can show that art he shows because I'm also gonna briefly show you. This is what a werewolf is in Crusade.
I'm
Huh.
sorry, that's just an Innistrad werewolf infected by Emrakul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should mention this. It's like we're gonna briefly do a tangent now, just to things I would say. So we're briefly gonna go into a thing that's entirely separate to the Heretic Legions, called the Path of the Beast, which exists as a thing. So, but yes, I should mention this is that like there's a few other things of hell. We'll go into that, but I feel like as a worth side tangent, we're just gonna go into the Path of the Beast, which is one of my favorite things that don't exist yet because it's just horrific. So it just stuck in my brain of how horrifically wonderful it looks. Horrifically wonderful. It has to be the same words at the same time.
That's fine.
I will say, do not focus on the face of the first guy because he looks like he's not enjoying this.
Let's see, can we?
I mean, I don't think any of them are
some
enjoying
extra
it.
mouths. That should be okay.
Meg, I should also mention that's where the giant werewolf, the giant wolf thing that's bleeding into the burning pot with like the weird moon flesh, or the flesh moon coming out of its stomach.
Yeah, we did
From
mention.
Anyone else from the third guy on the floor? Anyone else getting vibes with that one guy from Dark Souls 1 with the egg sack on his back?
Oh, yeah.
God, yeah. The
Yeah.
guy I have to put up with because he's technically my faction leader.
Oh yeah, her, yeah.
No, she's amazing and wonderful. And the fucking dude in front of her is annoying little shit.
The lady. All it's for the lady.
I'm not going to read the whole lore blurb for Path of the Beast, but I'm just going to explain that it is a cult dedicated to forsaking one's humanity and morality in favor of the base animal drives to feed and rut. Basically, there is a thing called the Beast Lord that has ticks on its body that basically then infect people and then become huge in human sizes and then turn you into a giant beast monster. Or make you go insane and run, basically rip your clothes off as you mutate and run into the woods, never to be seen again.
Yeah.
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 Let's see here. It's a
Weird
horror
champ.
mechanic. At first, the men thought the white nuggets bouncing off their helmets and rolling down the side of tents were hailstones until the nuggets unfolded wire-thin legs and began scampering any patch of exposed flesh. The fat ticks popping like blisters as the soldiers slapped at them and cursed. Soldiers ducked
Oh,
into tents,
those are
stripping off their
ticks.
great coats and uniforms.
That is
meant to
very
the blood of
fresh.
each other. To heed the blades of their bayonets and scald the ticks, they're releasing the mandibles where they burrowed into the soldiers' grimy flesh. But of course, they missed some. Thousands and thousands of pests had fallen in the trenches, but even if the company exorcists come through the hose, everything down with holy water, ticks found their way beyond long johns into boots under helmets and where they feasted. Ticks ballooned. The soft hide of their flesh distended abdomen split. The wounds forming demonic sigils. Soon, the flesh they bathed began to swell as the venomous gospel delivered by the parasites spread the message of the beast.
I hate it.
I guess. Despite the fate drummed into them from birth, the men were willing converts.
Oh, also, actually, it's funny. I was just looking it up as well. But the artist Mike Francina is known also for working on Diablo 4.
That makes sense.
Makes sense. He's got to do work to have a living. Let's see here.
But like,
I mean,
the
Diablo
artist
4
also
is
showed
great
some
art.
of the
I was reading this, yeah.
particular demonic vibes.
Honestly, that was the art you posted is like way cleaner looking, or like way like less gross looking in comparison.
Well, Phyrexian, the whole thing about Phyrexian horror is it is sterilizing and corrupting as opposed to like
Fair. It's the machinations made of a mad surgeon.
it is
and
the
priest.
machine god.
Yeah. The flesh machine god.
Versus, you know, the straight up body horror that this is, the
Yeah.
atavism of the return to gloop.
Against your very will. The veterans who seen
But
action.
that part is definitely shared. It's which I love
Yes.
because
The veterans who recently seen action at the Mecha Trig Advance and the defense of Aberoth, or Erebos, found absolution from the awful dreams that mangled their sleep. The new boys fled from the constant dread of facing the demonic legions that had left them shaking and pale ever since they got off the trains and past the endless trenchscape smoking from horizon to horizon. The gospel of the beast offered them escape into animalistic oblivion, into the state of raw instinct devoid of any thought behind the simple urges of sex and hunger, infinite hunger. They tore off their clothing as their skin split open, the mouths beneath free to express itself in any form. Bare muscle and rabid organs grew new mouths, new teeth, new tongues, teeth to crack bone, tongue to lick the marrow out. The disciples of the beast fell upon any who resist the gospel of blood and hunger. The trenches roared with gunfire and hunting howls as the converts rampaged, converting their freedom as the distance, obscured by smoke. The larvae of the new god, like rivers of violet flesh, howled mindlessly into the night. And that's where you get these things.
I thought my first thought is like the new mouths appear and it's like, yo, give me chips.
I mean, I
okay,
want to say it's not
yes.
exactly the same because that's a short story set up in World War II. But for the most recent season of Love, Death, and Robots, and also the short story it's based on, How Zeke Got Religion is very apropos to this. That's the one where the Nazis are waking up a literal fallen angel and they blow it up with a B-17 bomber, and that just pisses it off. So it chases after a whole bomber crew, and you know.
Yeah, because the only religious guy got killed.
Not even the religious guy also gets killed, but also the OSS guy who was telling them what their job is gets killed first. So the poor airmen have no idea what the fuck to do against an actual,
I don't even think it's I think it's just an angel actually. I don't think it's even a fallen one.
No, they do say it's fallen, like it's
Okay.
you know, sealed away in a church in Eastern Europe, but
Okay.
you know,
As a brief thing, I'm not sure we're going to show this, but here's a thing called a Mother of Beasts. Take that as you will.
Okay, let me see. Can we? No, that has chat for illustration at home. It has many nipples. I don't think we can get away
Oh yes,
with that.
my bad. I was more looking at like
It's
the
okay, I
intestinal,
just, like-
the intestinal veins.
no, yeah,
Nah,
that
drawing
YouTube
it like
will
intestines is okay, but
explode
got-
us.
a nipple's not. It's probably not gonna.
And
be right.
and fucking electrical lines for scale.
Yeah.
Sure.
The scale of this is really
Okay,
good.
then. Here is a larval beast lord. It's only an infant.
What the Oh.
Oh, he's only an infant. He's only a little baby.
Ugh.
This is quite big.
That is actually disturbing.
That just is the fucking
The stream is just that.
Whatchamacallit.
Shrink it down a little.
What do you think
Also, just to show you, I want to show you guys. This is the end version of what a werewolf becomes in the Path of the Beast, but not the Beast Lord. This is something else. So the werewolf thing at the early beginning. Here's the end. Here's the I guess I don't know if we can show it, but it's supposed to be. But like, here's what the end version of it becomes.
Oh yeah, that's a demon.
Yeah.
That's the aspect of the wolf. That's a fully ascended werewolf man.
That's interesting. You gotta
The
look up everything.
wings,
I
things.
don't know if we could show that in YouTube.
Yeah.
There's a bare ass in it. I don't know if we can get away
There's
with that.
unfortunately a naked woman in front
Yeah.
of it.
I wish there wasn't one
It's
in there
from
just because
behind,
it's
so
easier to
it's
show.
fine.
It's got
Yeah,
exposed
I think you
feet
could get away with
kids.
it actually.
They
I mean, you
glass
might be
balls, they can-
demonetized, but you won't be obliterated at least like the last one.
Welcome to our most demonetized of all time. I will also make it smaller so it all fits. That's actually probably not true, but we'll shrink it down into context, and we'll move on before too long. But yeah, if I understand I don't know if they're like properly their own faction yet. If I understand the way the Path of the Beast works is like they think their boss is like it almost sounds like it's like the fetal form of the Beast of Revelation. Like, it's like, oh yeah, no, we got a big guy coming. He's gonna be real big, real gross. He's gonna get you. He's not here yet, though.
But when
Honestly,
he does,
like, it feels like this one is almost like more Cthulhu mythos, like kind of like evil, like the great evil that isn't there, but
Well, it's very, very, Black Goat of the Woods with 1,000 Young type stuff. Is
Yeah.
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
This guy is equal parts, dog and tree. And
it's
devil.
Chubby Chow.
so bit of a
I-
weird aside, but that thing Axe showed earlier, like the little baby guy who's like
The
10,000
Beast
feet
Lord.
tall or whatever.
He's pretty big.
The larval.
Anyone
beast lord.
Anyone else here seen Shin Godzilla?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Look,
You're saying that's
yeah.
what it is. Yeah, the way the
Just
mouth
kind of
is
reminded of
all-
that form.
Mouths on mouths on
But he's
mouths.
just bleeding all over the
Yeah.
place.
The baby Godzilla.
Yeah, that became a marketable plush.
There is a market for creepy cute. And that is
Yeah.
definitely creepy cute.
True.
We're talking about Shin Godzilla, by the way, not whatever that is on
I was
screen.
about to say.
No, that's not creepy cute.
That's just
No,
creepy.
it's-
Yes.
that's just-
So this is entirely tangential to heretics and the faithful. This is just a thing that exists. Because you gotta have those.
Well, and I will say
so
this is the
I
thing
think-
that the like we said, the setting is mostly focused on Europe and the Middle East, like North Africa type stuff, classical European war. But
Yes.
the rest of the globe is explicitly like not blown up in secret or something. It's just that the legions of hell aren't flowing from there, so it's less of a concern at the moment. So like there is plenty of room for, more things in heaven and earth, Horatio.
Sorry. Let's go back to hell, or let's go back to our tour in hell, to talk about a few other things that are, I think, kind of cool but also fucked up. So, Daniel Eternity. Yet there are still some who push further on, unto the very gates of beyond. The very flesh ignites, never to recover, but those of the blackest souls can enter Inferno itself. Among those the anointed are especially revered amongst the legions. They are the paragons of unhinged brutality, men and women of colossal vigor and unyielding devotion. Having tread the accursed path to the shores of the lake of eternal flame, where the damned wither and contort in ceaseless torment, the anointed emerge forever scarred by the embrace of abyssal fires. Omega, I'm gonna give you one moment as I give you the anointed heavy infantry and the anointed the anointed naval raider.
So the heavy infantry here is like, first of all, I will say, again, wearing their inspirations a little on their sleeve, it feels like these guys are obviously still in the setting's own way, but are very much the Chaos Space Marines to kind of like the
Yeah, like the communicants or like the mechanized
communicants kind of
infantry.
like, yeah, they're like the regular Marines. Both are super fucked up, but it is interesting to see that also like the regular heavy infantry type anointed is like, what's the phrase? It's like very classical, like armor inspired. He's got like a Roman plume helmet, but also he's got a fucking diesel engine on his back, and he's got a very
His first
40k
is shard.
flamethrower with him.
Oh, okay. Actually, there's a story behind that flavor I'm going to tell you. So,
Okay.
after making
The,
great
the
contributions,
naval
or
infantry guy
several,
is just like, this is just a big daddy, but grimdark.
honestly, yeah.
He's just in a big
Yeah.
scary diving suit, which is okay because that game was already about the untold terror of the sea.
Also, sometimes there's also just like the blood is poured in the shape of demonic sigils on his armor sometimes.
Yeah, I see that now.
Yeah, the anointed ones are adorned by their masters in hell to make pilgrimage to the lake of fire. There, on its stinking, oil-choked shores, they meditate and chant, commanding sickening rites at the burnt temples that litter its shores. The fires of the lake horribly burn these pilgrims, but they take no notice. They revel in the visions of grandeur bestowed by the twisted black fires. Their heavy armored weaponry, forged in the iron pits, are gifted them by their wicked masters, and they are granted unholy strength in order to wield them. Flamethrowers filled with pitch from the lake of fire are particularly valued, and the anointed ones take great delight in burning their foes with its supernatural flame. So it's pitch for the literal lake of fire.
It's hellfire. Okay, cool, great. Does also explain why it's much more fantastical, because like I said, the aesthetics of this flamethrower are not World War I era flamethrowers. This is very much like a 40k sci-fi flamethrower, and also I can tell the artist the handle they used for that is just the gas pump at the marathon. Is like for the handle grip of the flamethrower.
Oh yeah.
But that's okay because like it all comes together.
It shoots eternally burning pitch.
And he's got a big.
I think they like light on fire.
On his back. He's got a big red jerry can. You can see because I lit up a little his burned flesh.
He also got branded his demon lord. Also the sigils all over his armor. They also got the metal nipples in there just because.
That's just
very, very classical style of armor. Like there's lots of actual like Greco-Roman armor that is like that in that stylized way.
Well, yeah, that's why what was it? The Clooney Batman and Robin suits had the bat nipples.
Well, yeah, Joel Schumacher was very interesting in his aesthetic stylings.
All right. Sorry.
But I think he did compare them to classical gladiators.
All right. Anyway, anointed ones of the heretical Naving raiding party are known as naval anointed raiders. Their armor is modified to double as diving suits, allowing entire strike teams to infiltrate the shoreline batteries or harbor defenses undetected. Diving cylinders of the anointed hold oxygen mixed with unnatural fumes from the lake of fire, provide up to 66 hours of breathable gas and bestowing a high degree of resistance to decompression sickness. Thus, they can stay submerged for extended periods of time, gathering large infantry strike forces undetected right at the enemy shores. If anything, Hell has the naval advantage.
Well, if they've been doing the technology longer, that makes me go like. So I'm wondering, not to put too much pressure on these guys. I know they had like a hugely successful Kickstarter and stuff.
But they also made Hell submarines, so like yeah.
When's the well, you know, we invented anti-submarine warfare when the Germans invented the U-boat in the First World War. But I'm like, when do we do the naval game spin-off?
Or at least like,
World War I is also like a big.
Oh God, they could also. I mean, also you could do a thing if it's the ship game.
Carriers.
I mean, yes. Honestly, you could do the ship game where you also have to fight the full-size Path of the Beast suits, like the fucking Beast Lord. You could fight.
Yeah, you know,
with,
if
like,
you've got any
tanks.
Leviathans or great, other great water creatures, you know, there's some stuff.
Again, Hell can't put demons into the earth. They can only take things they have made from humans or made from their armors.
I mean, I'm not gonna say that doesn't mean you couldn't like find a sea serpent and like fill him full of juice. Hell juice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Unfortunately, I have to head out, so I will see you 2 Tuesdays from now.
Right.
Thanks for showing up.
Thanks for hanging, Dallas.
So further go down, because we might as well go further down this list. To continue the torrent to hell, yet some who we just go even further into deprived devotion. Suicide is a mortal sin, and one eagerly embraced by many. Many cry out for devils to notice their final sacrifice in vain. Also, I'm sorry to get demonetized. I said it.
Well, we're going. We don't need monetization.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. As the Infernal Nobles are capricious and delight in betraying their own as much as their enemies, but those of thick, wicked, and depraved souls are resurrected in the contempt of the Redeemer, coming back as cloisters. Perfect mockeries of creation, whose severed heads sing unholy hymns praising the devil, their voices causing the ears of their enemies to bleed. That makes these dudes. I'm just like, I'm just amazed by like his neck becomes like weird sigils.
I didn't even realize.
Yeah.
I pulled this up for a second earlier to fill time, but yeah, we'll bring him back. Didn't even realize that was
This is a cloister of the Black Pulpit.
Yeah, so we bring guys back, quote unquote. But yes, very interesting to be like, yeah, he's definitely dead, but also
if you're like super into the devotion and then kill yourself with like up in like I think like the second circle or something, you basically become this thing.
Sorry, now I'm just thinking about the.
Also, it means if you
about
kill
the
yourself
demonetization earlier. I'm just
you're
thinking
fucked.
about I'm just thinking about as opposed to the euphemism in Minecraft, just in the second circle.
In Crusade. Yes. If you kill yourself in Trench Crusade to escape the pain and suffering of the horrors, it turns out it's actually worse. You actually damn yourself.
Well, yeah, I mean that is actually true. It is a mortal sin, and there's the whole forest of suicides at Dante. It's like, yeah, no, that would not actually help.
Nope.
It means you're gonna ask for a priest to shoot you, which is fucked up entirely.
Well, that is, the act of mercy. That's why they call it a misericordia.
Yes. No, you're right. Yeah.
The sewer slide, a big no-no.
And then, through the vast bulk of the Heretic Legions are made of mortal humans. Hell often sends their own abhorrent progeny to reinforce their mortal foot soldiers. Nightmare's war beasts, which we've shown before, made of captured possessed creatures, and also the dreaded artillery witch.
Ah, yes. Remember this. This is
This is my favorite. This is a favorite of the
I
setting.
don't know if I would say they've escaped containment, but this is a design that's very popular among just like artists in general and has taken off. I'm not sure exactly why, besides just it is very distinct, but also I think it's just very iconic to just have this, armored lady, and then she's just got an iron bomb right there.
Yeah,
Throw it at you.
Artillery witches stalked the battlefield, hurling ordnance and assembled the death factories of Hell's third circle. They are completely mute, and no one has ever seen their faces. Some question if they're even living, and there are tales that they were too manufactured in Hell. They can pull an infinite number of infernal bombs from a portal to Hell that they manifest at will. Their infernal explosives appear in their hand from a gate of midnight blackness.
Yep.
So, Hell cannot have its demons show up, but it can have all the stuff it makes as materials show up, because technically, that's just giving equipment to their soldiers.
If we just industrialize Hell,
Which they have. The pit of fire,
very, in a strange way, this is very Tolkien-esque. Oh yes, we industrialized Hell.
Oh, okay.
We have an infinite bomb terminal.
I should also mention that there's also a few extra things, like a few side things, that they are called the Naval Raiding Party, which is where those guys came from. They were also called the Trench Ghosts. Oh god, I've never seen this art. This is actually really cool. Holy shit. So they also just have souls that had greed for items, where this is a greed for worldly wealth, and items of power remained undiminished, and their second pros are extremely difficult to destroy. Basically, if something dies next to an unholy object, something that just comes back as an unholy ghost of greed.
I want that thing.
Greed? I feel like it would be rage.
Their greed for worldly items. Their greed for worldly wealth and items remain undiminished.
Yeah, they have a desire for unholy artifacts, which
They have hatred for the living, but they have greed for the physical objects.
Oh, I see.
But they also fight
manifold sins.
Hell
That's
and
Crusade.
the faithful. They just fight everyone because they're alive.
Fair enough.
Ghosts in the trench.
Basically, just because there's unholy relics, because there's all these fucking heretic regions just bringing up literally demonic relics that just sometimes cause the dead to rise. And there's also a side thing. There's also the Knights of Avarice, a heretic legion that includes sorcery under the Order of Mammon, the archdevil of greed. So there's 7 archdevils, each for their different sin.
Yeah.
I
believe they've only elaborated on a couple. So
I'm not sure if we can put this because it's just the headless bodies. But Circe is a knight of avarice sworn to bring the 10 greatest sources of gold under Mammon's rule, and they desire to conquer Mali and the legendary mines of the Queen of Sheba.
That's a cool.
Oh, so I see. Even in Trench Crusade, they Shebas.
Yeah.
Blow this up a little. I want to blow this up not because there are some headless dead guys. Who cares about them? They're not real. They're fake. That's a painting. I love that this guy is such a blinged out skull that he looks like he's wearing hater blockers on his golden leaf helmet, which also includes an Illuminati third eye. This
also
is
the double
bolt.
The double bolt. Yeah, this is the Knights of Avarice. They are entirely about being greedy and covered in fucking gold.
It's about the golden bull, and he's got 2 giant incense burner shoulders. This is the demonic bling. Do not ask me what the black ichor of greed is, coming out of there.
I don't know.
I don't wanna
I
talk
think
about
it's just I think it's just their blood congealing. It is said that over Archdevil has brought more mortals to worship at the altars of hell than the Prince of Greed. Warbands that venerate him are a very embodiment of greed and arrogance. Baron often works in the shadows, using the power of gold and luxury to corrupt creation and manipulate the lords of hell to his favor in the truly Byzantine politics of the damned. Byzantine politics, everyone.
Well, yeah, you know,
Yeah.
there's nothing that says they all have to agree.
No, they don't. They all fight. Like, listen,
Also-
this is a war game. You can fight each other. You
Well,
fight
yeah,
each other all the
that's
time.
true, but also like it's absolutely I think very apropos because like if you actually like read the Ars Goetia, like all the different
The
you know,
court of
170
the Court of the
demons are all a
Serpent
bunch of
and
different
the
guys.
Black Road do not like each other.
You probably can see because you know if I understand correctly, the Black Grail is all like Beelzebub's baby, like that's his brainchild.
Yes.
So they're like, hey, we don't get any credit for that. Fuck off.
Yeah.
But also, I want to say, if I remember, I read somewhere like a fun factoid. So if you're doing like I don't know if it's, I think it's like kind of like a specialty or a sub-faction thing. If you're doing the Knights of Avarice, poor people are not allowed. You have to spend a minimum number of points on units. Like you can't,
That's
you
hilarious.
can't go for a cheap
Okay,
spam
wait.
strategy.
Okay,
You have to
Okay,
spend
so it's
extra
all
points.
elites. So you're playing custodians. You're playing an all elite army.
Yeah, like even if you buy like normal heretic infantry, you have to stuff them full of enough upgrades that they meet the minimum point requirements. So
I mean, it
it's-
makes
it's-
sense. The Knights of
Yeah,
Avarice,
but
you have to have the bling. His mortal followers are much the same, arrogant, manipulative, and greedy beyond comprehension. Men only choose those who have accumulated vast wealth through foul means, and especially favors those due to war on his behalf to extract wealth from those they have conquered or slain. So, like Raider Kings, most millionaires.
Yeah.
Mammon would love fucking corporate America.
Greed is good bait. I mean, that was a joke that Kevin Smith's Dogma made, 20 years ago, I want to say.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like I just want to show this
Yeah.
because there's not much else about them, but like they're a faction I would probably play if I had to play Trans Crusade. I'd probably play those guys, or maybe I'd probably also just do the fucking made a Jewish faction of like the Hebrew Knights with war golems and shit, because that makes sense. Actually, like if I say it's like the Hebrew Knights, like actual like knight orders of like Jewish crusaders, and then also like actual like war golems, because I feel like that makes sense in this setting, wouldn't it? Like.
General VK Braun.
It does kind of does.
Because golems are very
So
deeply
it's
tied to
like
Jewish
an
lore, so it's like I don't know why we couldn't do that.
Well, we'd have to It is a factor of like, well, we'd have to figure out where it fits in because we are in the war game sense. So like, is it a one-off unit or are we
No, I mean like the Islamic I mean they could put the Jewish people as like a thing that's separate. Just like there's a bunch of sub factions. Probably just like the sub factions like the actual like faithful factions as like its own thing. Because there's also the whole sub faction of just like faithful of like the Knights of Ethiopia.
Well, yeah, it probably would be is they would be in the groups of New Antioch because there's a whole bunch of guys and we're dumping resources into New Antioch and that's one of the major factions and they.
So
are
actually,
made
let's
up
go.
of guys
Actually,
from everywhere.
let's go to New Antioch and talk about that. The Principality of New Antioch. It is, yeah. So it's here. Located in the northern Levant, it is the last defense against demons, heretics, and unfaithful that spilled from the gate of hell that was once Jerusalem. It's on top of the remains of what the old city of Antioch was destroyed by an ancient demonic weapon in 1545. So I think it's demonic, but honestly, we still don't know actually if it was demonic or not because it was eternal.
Hey, for all we know, it could have been God being like, I don't like you guys anymore.
That's a bit different because another city got vanished by God.
Oh, so we had another Sodom and Gomorrah situation. Got it.
Well, we don't know what happened to Argos. It's just gone. It was taken by God, is what they say.
Oh, they
Yeah,
got to
so-
experience the rapture while we get to experience hell. Great.
Yeah, so we have various groups of the Principality: the Red Brigade, the Papal States Intervention Force, the Area Rangers, the Ostopen of the Free State of Prussia. We have like Prussian soldiers. Here are the Prussians, part of New Antioch. I'll show you. They just look like World War I guys. Honestly, they don't look that weird. They're just like World War I guys in metal armor. Honestly.
Yeah, that's just a straight up dude in armor.
If you
I
told me
think
this
it's
was an offshoot of Krieg soldiers, I would believe it.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
fair.
Also explicitly World War I inspired, but yeah, this is This is just normal World War I gear with like an extra, Holy Roman, HRE style cuirass, like the winged hussars and other stuff like that. You got the big.
Let's see a brief thing, just brief of like, let's see here. We have the Red Brigade, which are basically people that were they're basically volunteers who come close to the battles of the Great War. The Papal States Intervention Force are under the command of the Supreme Pontiff of Rome, or rather than the Dukes of New Antioch. They are sometimes built as a central line, but they're meant for like mostly internal policing or collecting artifacts of importance. The Era Rangers, I think I'm saying Ire, it's EIRE, but it's technically British or Celtic. So,
well, it's Ire.
Ire.
It's
Our bitter enemies, the Infernal Forces. The Emerald Isle has endured hunger and ravaged by the Black Grail, as well as a full-fledged invasion aimed at destroying the famed House of Manuscripts, where many of the holies and texts are kept. We have.
I was going to say the Emerald Isle is Ireland, so it's Ire.
Yes.
It's spelled that way, just with the E.
We then have the Kingdom of Alba Assault Detachment, hails from the Scottish Highlands, where the church is strong. These men and a few first grooms come to Antioch in search of glory, forgiveness of their sins, as well as dreams of acquiring valuable loot to send back to the whole island, but above all to get their hands on some devil worshippers. And we then have the expeditionary forces of Abyssinia, have a lot together to resist the invasion of Mammon. Blood stains the water of the Nile. So we also have Egypt here. The coalition struggles to contain the grinding offenses, the Mammoth legions of the 10 Golden Horns. So that's what the main people fighting the Knights of Avarice are. Here's the people. Here are the Knights associated. Here is like the trooper that also let's see. This is the Chua, the elite of the Solomonic dynasty of Abyssinia, which is also the soldiers of Ethiopia.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it's nice how colorful they are, but also like interestingly designed the armor, the shield is. Also, that is a sword meant to like get through armor. That is a sword.
Oh, yeah.
That is actually a practical sword design.
If you, yeah, those are real. That's the East African.
Considering that's probably a sword you use to fight a mechanized heavy, like a fucking anointed heavy infantry dude.
I mean,
if you want to get through that armor.
in the game sense, yes, but no, that sword pattern is also real. Those are actually East African swords. If you've ever wondered where those swords come from in Dark Souls, yeah, that's based off African swords.
Oh, that's actually interesting. I did not know that.
I don't actually know how much the inner curve is good at armor penetration, but more cutting surface like that means you have more power behind the swing, which means that you do
strike. It's also he has used that tip to stab into someone, and then he's horrified by it because that guy looks like he's a bit shell shocked.
Yeah, no,
the 1,000-yard stare.
The long point. I do also like the at least acceptance of the trench part of Trench Crusade with he's wearing a setting modern like ammo and utility belt.
Yeah, I think he's also just a frontline guy. He also has a Santa Maria thing inscribed on his where his joint is. We're now gonna go into the troops to send out of New Antioch because I think they have some of the cooler ones outside the trench programs, which are kind of just like people that like hear the call and fucking pick up a gun and get like anointed with gear as they like go into the trench.
I mean, that is kind of like it is called Trench Crusade. That is kind of the Crusade part. Is they truly when historical Crusades happen, they did kind of take all comers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
so it makes sense that there would be a bunch of just randos.
Now for honestly the normal dudes of the setting, we have here's just a normal lieutenant of New Antioch. Just a dude.
Yeah, that is just a dude.
He's got some iconography of saints.
We then have, as a side thing, we also have, here is a trench cleric.
He's got an officer's blade and just a ring. Now
Let's
this
see,
guy's
a holy
a little
warrior who
more
looks after the souls. A holy warrior who looks over the souls of the soldiers in the company. The clerics chanting inspire battle prayers and can perform various miracles such as healing or even smiting the enemy. A cleric often carries a portable shrine on his back to denote his faith in the company's patron. Be one of the saints of their homeland, a mighty archangel, or the Lord himself. The clerics are also addicted to the chemicals allowed them to perform miracles.
So they're high on God's supply, but yeah, that's a lot more like the lieutenant is a little flashy with like the red painted helmet and the extra saint iconography, but he's pretty normal. The cleric is like, oh yeah, no, now we're back in. This guy's got
like the lieutenant is meant
on
to
his
be
shoulder plate.
The lieutenant guy is meant to be the guy leading the army. The cleric's the guy chanting hymns the whole time and not stopping.
Very, very classy. Praise
It's
the
like
Lord.
lieutenant
Bossing
matters
ammunition.
because like you need someone to actually give orders, you know? It's like they're like meant for these small unit tactics.
Right, the cleric's
oh-
the chaplain equivalent.
Yes, we also have. Here's the fun thing, just when we get to the faithful. Here is a sniper priest.
I think this is what Dallas was talking about earlier with it was like, oh, is this guy who has looks like he's missing.
These
guns.
devotees of the church blind themselves ritually as a devotion to God, only use their faith to strike the enemies of the church. During the siege of St. Lux, stories were told of a sniper priest killing a target 3 miles away.
Very impressive.
Yeah.
With what looks like a straight up Mosin Nagant rifle.
It probably is actually. It's only
Actually,
1914.
I think this guy's just the end, but blind.
Yeah, I was about to say,
Yeah.
like, wait a second.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
that's
He's also
like,
younger
huge
than the end.
Rasputin beard. Well, I mean, the end we meet's in the 60s, so like he would have
I mean, yeah.
looked like this in 1914, where I'm pretty sure that he
He was
cannot
50 or
was
something?
already working. Love all the extra pouches and the like iron crosses. Yeah.
Also the halo. It's probably on their back. I don't know if the halo's actually real or not. I can't. You can't tell trying to say it honestly.
God. Always a great question. Yeah.
We have other basic guys. We just have the yeomen, which are just like normal troopers. These are the basic troopers. Here are the shock troopers, and just like here's what a basic conflict looks like sometimes. Where sometimes you just get eviscerated by some dude, by some hell monster. This is an image called the Last Stand of the First Company Shock Troopers. So this is them getting disintegrated by hell.
Oh no.
We have a combat engineer.
Don't think you can show that one.
Yeah. I would
Yeah, I think that the guy's getting like disemboweled and disintegrated at the same time. I don't think you can show it.
I mean,
But
like
That's-
I
that's
can
half
see
the
the
stand
side
right there.
hide him, but it's like a little like yeah. We'll
that's not.
Axe
anyway.
named the art piece, so you can see. Also, yeah, that guy's got like a Lee Enfield or a Springfield rifle, and then the other guy's got a Thompson, which is again very
Yeah.
funny because there's no Springfield Armory.
No, but they still have the same guns.
There's also here's the
I think
mechanized
they're
heavy
just
infantry
taking
again.
they're just taking like art
Yeah.
cues, but yeah, this is like honestly other than again
This guy's got a super Lewis gun.
other than the extra crosses and like the sigil of New Antioch, these guys are just wearing gear that was around. Like they experimented with several kinds of iron helmets during the war, and
Also, some of their armor plating is made of orichalcum steel, so it's made of divine metal.
yeah, we should.
I mean, yeah, that's just a given in a setting like this.
we have extra
Yeah.
supernaturally stuff.
Also, the mechanized heavy infantry are also people that are made the same, like, made by the Mendelist monks. So, like, they're also chemically enhanced to be in the armor. So, like, they are more like Space Marines, but also the communicants, I think, actually meant to be like the custodians, essentially.
They're extra gassed. Yeah, the mechanized infantry is what we showed earlier. Is the big chunky boy.
Let's see here. The process to create, supposedly, the process to create mechanized troopers is inspired by the creation of Spartan super soldiers from Halo. So you take a bunch of children and you fill them full of drugs,
Oh no.
and you have them grow into soldiers. So it's like, yeah. Except you're had by the priest instead of like your secret naval office. And then here's a combat medic, which is like actually one of the only lady images I can show that isn't like a naked lady. It's actually just a lady wearing a hospitality outfit.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem traumatized at all.
She looks like she'll
No,
cut you in the throat,
Well,
though.
I believe the description of the the combat medics is they are medical
Hold them
officers, but also
her
they know
opening line is
anatomy,
called
so
hold
they
them
will
down.
kill you. She has she's carrying a bone saw scalpel in her offhand or in her primary hand there. So yeah.
She's carrying a bunch of those more of those on her back, like on her hip. Let's see here. Hold them down is a quote for these. The Sisters of St. Cosmos are highly trained elite medical corps, specialized in battlefield medicine, battlefield first aid, and surgeries on the front line of the Great War. The Sisters take a modified Hippocratic oath that compels them to help any wounded soldier out of the faith, no matter how dire the circumstances, as well as dispatching heretics and other enemies they find on the battlefield pity or mercy. You kind of have to at this point, considering how fucked it is.
Considering the setting, yeah.
I can't show you the stigmatic
These are
nun.
all
I will show you
faithful
guys what we can't. I was here's
yeah,
the,
no, I've heard of this before.
They
All
are female
the
warrior nuns
official
that worship
concept
the
art
third
for
Antichrist.
stigmatic
Yeah.
nun are Mostly tough.
It is think Repentia from 40k, but mixed with like knight armor.
Don't know who that is, but okay.
Well,
You've never seen a sister Repentia?
I will
Oh.
show you guys, but like don't put this on stream. Just to show you.
No, I
Maybe?
know.
Oh, just show the other two.
oh yeah.
It's a great design,
so,
but yeah,
not
we
only
can't.
The Luger also has a fucking like the
Snail
Luger
neck,
has a
that's
fucking
right.
like yeah. I know, yeah, it's just like yeah.
the other thing too is that is like old school Repentia design.
Also, they also have the Repentia thing, if they get stronger, the more injured they are.
That's 100% a Repentia thing.
Martyrdom.
Yeah. Because they worship the third Metachrist, because there's a bunch of those.
Yeah, like you said, we killed a bunch.
Yeah, and then on the side thing we have for New Antioch, we have the Witch Burner. Not Witch Hunter, Witch Burner.
Well, I mean,
We
yeah.
know where the witches are.
Brother, get the flamer, the heavy flamer.
Yes, it's like, salvation is not a gift. It must be paid for in the coin of agony and despair.
Yeah.
The Witch Burners are the field officer of the Inquisition. They are tasked with hunting down and punishing witches, warlocks, and heretics that cannot be brought to face justice by conventional means. On the battlefield, they have the channel divine retribution on those deemed to have trespassed against God, causing sinners to burst into flames of mere words of condemnation. I can never say it right. Condemnation.
Condemnation?
Condemnation.
Pretty
Since
nice.
none are sinless, none are safe from the words of condemnation. I also mentioned that yes, there's also holy magic, but it's like I don't think I think it hits anyone depending where you target it.
Yes, the
So, like,
whole, no one is
if
without
it's
sin,
real.
So if we,
Yes.
if he just casts, cinders burst into flame,
Cast
it's like,
nuts,
well, guess
sinner.
what? All of you count, even if you're doing God's work. Also,
That's
you
why it's called
mentioned, like inquisitorial, like very much
This
the
looks
actual
cool.
like
But, like, I think-
like actual like Spanish inquisitorial. Like this is the costume, just kind of like writ large in a way that befits the setting.
He's
Very
like
tall,
wearing red,
big
but he
shoulders,
is also
everything.
armored up, so it's also armored so he couldn't get shot in the head or the shoulder or the knees.
Yeah. As,
Which makes
you know,
sense.
Those are very important places to not be shot in.
Also, his cane, I think, is also a torch.
As it should be for a character that is called
Wouldn't
the
be
Witch
shown,
Burner.
yes.
You also can see a bunch of the burnt people behind him.
Yes, you can.
All
Those are-
right.
Not
hold
only
on
are
a
they
second.
crucified, but they are also on fire.
All right, let's keep going with the Christian people. One moment. We're gonna go to the Trench Pilgrims, which have like the various things called the Path of Pious Revenge, the Pilgrims of the Iron Path, the Theban Legion of Rome, the Trench Pilgrims of the Procession of the Sacred Affliction.
It's a shame that Dallas did leave because we were talking earlier about Baldwin and the lepers. That's actually, I believe, they are. That is the
Yes, the Procession of the Sacred Affliction are basically they're lepers, but they also have like weird things where it's here. The Trench Pilgrims of the Procession of the Sacred Affliction are known for their zeal in close quarter combat. Their armor decorated icons and shields adorn the depictions of the saints, which are despite appearances could withstand machine gun bullets. The millstones they carry upon their backs are used to tie around the neck of sinners before drowning them in the mud and blood of no man's land. They spurn the use of the iron capirotes, believing firmly that faith alone is not to withstand the horrors of hell.
I mean, they're not
Yeah,
wrong.
just constructed alternatively people. Here is a just briefly show you. Here is a leper rifleman, and here is a Sacred Affliction honor guard. Also, they have the prayer act, which is basically for every swing is a prayer of God. Every swing is a prayer to God.
It's very funny.
And here is a procession of people walking to the trench. Spurred our president, the procession of the Sacred Affliction make pilgrimage to the Holy Land, passing through the gates of martyrs, a true showing of one's devotion to the Crusade.
As one does.
It's a good splash image. How big is this? It's not
I-
that big.
I think it just shows the setting pretty well. Yeah, those.
No, it very much does. It very much captures that. Oh God, what's the term I'm looking? It's like that juxtaposition you have.
There is a despair, but there's also the thing of there are people, the light screaming out against the dark kind of thing.
Well, yes, but I was more so along the lines of like, you have these dudes carrying pikes and shields going into battle, and then you just have electricity feeding into,
Yeah, you have.
megaphones up there, so it's like-
It's 1514, yeah.
Sorry, hold on. Wait. Fighting sneeze. it's leaving me, and it'll creep
Listen,
up later.
listen,
but what I was gonna say is
this
this
picture
this
been around for
picture
15
is a great
years.
way to transpose the aesthetics of the setting, because like you said, we have the aspirants running out with like pikes and axes and stuff, but in the background you can see a tank, but you can also see these huge like Baroque Gothic giga walls, but then there's also a preacher attached to like a speaker tower with a power cable running to it, kind of a thing,
Yeah.
So like really putting the aspects together.
Because again, it's like a lot of people will be really faithful if you know that hell is real and you have to kill it. You have to kill it or kill us.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it does get the like I said, the setting divides pretty well. It's like either, yes, there are people who are willing to join the heretics, either because they are, kind of
They
brought
grew up in
that,
the area,
or just voluntarily be like, if these guys are the good guys, they suck, kind of a thing.
Well, again,
But
it's like
also, it's
most of
very
those people
easy to
die
be-
of getting to hell.
It's very easy to be on the side of the faithful and just be like, oh yeah, no, demons are real. Here,
Fuck
I mean,
that.
hey, it's 1914. They could have
Yeah.
like newsreel footage if they want. Like we would be at photographic plates.
We've gotten that
and-
technology.
and film. So like, they could.
The space program for 15 years.
In the setting, they could very easily be like, and look at this photographic plate.
Honestly, I feel like they don't want. They probably have at least like video coverage just for like actually surveillance shit, and just because they have quite advanced.
Mount Fuji.
I mean, I think that like, especially because, hey, fun fact, by the way, the first film stocks were the first celluloid film stocks was nitrocellulose. It was gun cotton. It was incredibly flammable and explosive. That's why so many movie theaters burned down. That would absolutely like, that's so appropriate for this setting to have like a newsreel camera guy or like some kind of like film reel wizard like trying to find surveillance, like you said, but also he could just burst into flames at any given time, because again the first plastics was nitrocellulose, so that's plant matter, cotton soaked in nitroglycerin, because
Yeah,
it becomes like it's technically shelf stable and like malleable, but doesn't biodegrade. It's very
Also,
flammable.
I also should mention that just a brief thing to the Black Grail units. What is the generic flying unit that let's see here. Oh god. All right. I'm gonna briefly. I'm gonna show this guy. I'm gonna spoil this because I think it's polite to. This is a Herald of Beelzebub. These are the generic flying units of the Black Grail.
Very slimy. I'm pretty sure we can show this, but it's very gross.
Life was a lot better before I saw this thing.
Yeah, that is fair.
Hey,
You're
I
not
mean,
wrong.
Act spoiled it for you, Loth. You
have to
didn't
look at
have
it.
to click. I'm
I
gonna leave
chose
him
to look at
small.
it.
I'm gonna leave him small on screen chat, so you don't get some details. But you can.
I mean-
your imagination can work. He has a literal
I should make-
maggot gun.
With
Yeah.
infected bullets that turn people into slush.
Gonna
That is
glorify
like-
your insides.
Oh,
Let's
that
see
is
here,
like heavy Nurgle inspiration. I'm not gonna lie.
The fleeting effect of the Black Grail is a gift of Beelzebub, Lord of the Fly, spread by the insect spread by his own hand at the seventh layer of hell. It is a tidal wave of his foulness in the form of demonic vermin. Septicemia, tainted insects, plague, and impurities that pollute both body and soul. Entire villages in town are turned to half-living slush that bubbles on the ground, in agony of melted flesh quivering and crying at the multitude of diseases granted by the Lord of Flies. Those caught by the Black Grail are still aware of the horrible fate that had befallen them. Special units of New Antioch and the Free State of Prussia are dedicated to responding to these outbreaks of specially constructed flamethrowers using holy anointed oil as their fuel. I think that's the only response you can really do for that.
Yeah, no, that's 100% a response of kill it with fire.
Yeah.
Purge the disease. You have to burn it so it doesn't linger.
Yeah. Oh man.
But some victims of the Black Grail suffer a fate far worse. They are bestowed the black honor by being melded with hellflies growing into a grass winged insect made of bloated flesh. After this torturous metamorphosis, they take into the air as heralds of Beelzebub. So yes, most of the Black Grail, if you're not part of the nobles, are like horribly mutated people. The Temple of Metamorphosis. Basically, you become something that's older than the devils themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Smart Beelzebub is like, he's also partially not even he's technically an archdevil, but he also exists before them. That's the thing in Crusade. He's existed before Hell even was a thing.
Okay then.
Also, the remaining parts of the human in there are used as fuel for the maggot gun, but I'm not going to cover that. We're just going to move on. It's very Nurgle, but I think it's more aggressive Nurgle than being that it shoots you with lily plague bullets.
I mean, that is what.
Obviously, Nurgle like spreads diseases, but I will say that I do kind of feel like, at least in some of the fiction, it's supposed to be, you know, they talk about like Nurgle's gifts.
You're supposed to grow. You suffer enough where it's because you're supposed to be happy, but you also can't feel pain because basically Nurgle, how about like this? Nurgle doesn't want you to get decayed. He wants you to be a mega right now. Look at this. If you like Nurgle wants you to be exactly who you are right now for the next 5 to 11 centuries. Exactly who you are. Exactly. Do not change. Do not shower. Do not move. You are exactly that. Stay like that forever.
Yeah.
You decay, whatever. You stop feeling pain after like the first 11 years of pain.
Yeah, Nurgle is usually like it's funny how like esoteric the Chaos Gods are, and like Nurgle is both very concrete as like pestilence, but then they're also like, I don't know, stagnation, I guess.
He's stagnation and decay, and also technically he's also growth, but like GW has stopped having the positive aspects of the Chaos Gods exist anymore.
Yeah, he is effectively just the straight up. He is entropy.
Like, yeah, he's entropy, but also like the bad kind of entropy, not like the cycle of life. He used to be that, but not anymore.
There's no such thing as a good kind of entropy. It's the trend for a system to become more disordered over time. It cannot be considered positive in any way.
Okay, I meant as in like the idea of like when things decay, they become the basis for new life. That was part of Nurgle originally, but it's no longer.
And rebirth.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The guys have got a little gloopy, but this is a complete aside.
As a side thing, here are the Hounds of the Black Grail. They are basically parasitic carcasses of canines infested with maggots and flies spawned from the body of Beelzebub himself. They basically prowl no man's land and spread disease and pestilence in the name of their dark god, their dark master. They're giant mosquito dogs.
Yeah, we could.
They're gross, but not that gross comparatively to like the heralds.
This is true.
Or I'm not going to show the amalgam or the Grail Thrall. I already showed the Grail. I'm not going to show the amalgam because that one's really gross to me. So I'm just not going to show it. If you want to look it up, you can.
The Black Grail guys are the. I know it's funny to say that, but they are the body horror faction. So we don't need to linger too long.
Yeah. As a side thing, there are mercenaries that any Hell faction can grab. Is a thing called a Sin Eater.
Gee, I wonder where I've heard that before.
Yeah,
Lots
right.
of places.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I've seen this art before now. I just did not realize it was to the same.
I'm just making a reference to a game we all know and love.
Yeah.
Guys,
That King may not be up to.
I was literally in the middle of a Shadowbringers cutscene when I joined in the call.
Ha.
Sin Eaters are horrific creatures. Once they were mortal men and women, but their overwhelming greed and hunger for human flesh tainted with sin, combined with the corrupting influence of the Hellgate, has turned them to a form that matches their inner foulness. Once starving wretches, insatiable gourmands, or priests obsessed with devouring the sins and eventually the bodies of their congregations, they've swollen into monstrous proportions and are always to the point of literally bursting, yet forever ravenous for flesh and human sins to devour. The Sin Eater is one of the very few creatures that Beelzebub approves of outside its followers due to its insatiable gluttony. So this is one of the only creatures you can get in Black Grail that's not directly part of your faction. Because all of the archdevils are very particular about who could be in their faction. Like you said, there was the rule for the Knight's Avarice.
No kills allowed.
Actually, these also the Sin Eaters also could be ladies. It doesn't matter.
But just the idea of like we are very particular about who we allow into our faction.
Well, technically, for that's average. You just have to be rich enough.
Yeah.
Money.
But yeah, I'm gonna stop looking at those ones, and we're gonna go to different heretic factions. A brief thing. We're gonna talk about here are the foot soldier. You don't need to show this, but here is the wretched. These are the slave foot soldiers of the heretic legions. It's the wretched.
Yeah,
They're a little grody. They're just gross little guys.
Both the heretic legions and the court of the seven-headed serpent use these as like their foot soldiers, or fodder really. Many Portuguese people fall in the hands of the heretic warbands, either during one of their many raids or battles, or purchased from the slave markets of their own domains. The heretic lands are fucked. Some are foolhardy adventurers who travel into the domains of the demand are caught by their watching patrols. They are used as a form of currency, and many heretic priests pay their taxes to their demon overlords in the form of human flesh.
This is a lot of taxation.
I will say that here. A lot of the wretched is grim and terrible, as they are worked to death in factories of the 66 lords, which for meat or worst of all sold to the agents of the court of the seven-headed serpent and taken through the Hellgate. Yet one path to freedom exists. The wretched can volunteer to serve in the legions as the lowest of low, the most disposable penal troops. Such desperate men and women are branded with cursed flesh-eating tattoos to safeguard against escape attempts and heavily drugged to degrade and dull their wit, while still leaving their aggression intact. Heretic elites discard their lives carelessly as sacrifices their life on the battlefield as a virtuous deed, which should be rewarded by their infernal patrons. So basically, they have to fight, and if they fight long enough, they are allowed to free, but usually it's a death sentence.
Yeah, that tracks.
So, some people, like, try to basically go into, like, the hell, like, the Infernal Legion, basically the Infernal, Legion, or I guess more of the heretic, principalities, I guess, or the heretic lands. I don't know what else to call it. The places that are run by the hell, or whatever.
Shit sucks.
And basically they try to, like, steal relics and shit for money, but most of those people get turned to these. So, yeah. We don't show it, but, like, it's just a bunch of people that have, like, scars and,
No,
like,
I threw it up just because
bolts of metal put into their
it's like,
flesh.
yeah, they're just, it's so, and it's
just
I
sad.
love that you mentioned it up about, like, oh yeah, you think to volunteer, you know, you can not get sucked into hell if you volunteer in the forces. But we don't even take volunteers. We brand you with flesh-eating tattoos so you can't escape, drug you to the gills, and we don't give you body armor. So get fucked, nerd.
Yup.
Nothing about nothing about this getup will protect you from a bullet from a sniper priest.
The goggles, they do nothing.
As a side thing, it's also, let's see, we not covered the Cloisters, the Heretic Troopers,
Didn't even get guns, the penal legions.
the Artillery Witch, the Werewolf Assault Beast, the Sin Eater. There's also one other thing I want to show, besides, I think, like, before we wrap up, just showing you just, like, the Trench Pilgrims, just because, like, the poster people, like, the poster people of this thing. We have the Goetic Warlock!
Yeah.
Oh no, that's a fucking vibe, and I like
I
it.
love this thing, even though it's fucking terrifying.
No, this is a real.
That is a vibe.
This is a real ass demon.
Also, one other thing, I didn't find it where.
Well, not literally a demon, as we said, but like this guy is a demonic sorcerer for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
God,
Oh,
That's
I'm
a
trying to
vibe.
find. One moment. There's also
this
where?
artist has mastered the art of fucking up human proportions, of just like making this guy's like forearms too long and making like his legs too long. But his his shoulders and upper arms are the proper proportion, so he like looks
May I
really
tell you-
hunched.
May I tell you the horrific lore of this creature?
May I tell you the law of this land?
I mean,
Yeah,
yes.
go for
Please
it.
do.
Talk about these guys.
Goetic Warlocks are horrific creations from the death factories of the third circle of hell, manufactured from captured priests, prophet, vicars, rectors, and monks. Fiendish machines first burned their flesh away with hellfire, encasing their still living skeletons in an infernal suit of armor and stamping of Goetic runes. Process so agonizing that they get sent to a demonic pact to bring end to their pain. Thus, a new Goetic Warlock is born, ready to hunt the living they once swore to protect. The mere gaze of the Warlock causes necrosis, and in close quarters they embrace unsuspecting enemies with their iron claws, using their Goetic magic to gate themselves in a secluded location where they can finish a victim by slowly shredding them apart. Their favorite method is by skinning their victims alive and using their gruesome trophies as repulsive vellum to write grimoires and unholy religious texts, or wearing the face of their victims to power their illusionary spells to confound their enemies.
This is very classic. Like, again, this is Lovecraft plus medieval demonology of just like, oh yes, I'm going to turn your skin into a scroll for a spooky book.
You make it funny at least, because it's like, ugh.
I mean, I've
Or it's
talked
like-
about this before. That my intro to like classic Call of Cthulhu was just such a comedy of errors, because my group rolled a lot of botches. They rolled a lot of 96 and ups on the percentiles. It's like I personally have a lot of experience running this stuff as black comedy. I can be dead ass serious if I need to be. I mean, Axe has played my Delta Green games, so he knows.
I enjoy
can be very
I enjoy
deadly
to make
serious
it
if I
water to
need
make you
to,
feel.
but I also like to put the lampshade on it to tip the hat to the absurd. So like sometimes you just gotta laugh a little because otherwise it's just.
Bong is still a highlight, you know.
We do love Bong Ska. His name is unpronounceable.
Anyway, you just have to just be wrong about it and be okay with it, you know.
Yeah.
It also saves you unnatural points for trying to like bother getting it right. It's like, why bother getting it right? It deserves no respect.
It's a ceramic bong smoking frog, you know.
It deserves no respect. It just talks to you. It talks to you when the midnight's around.
Yeah, it talks to you in the
That
dark of
makes
the night,
sense,
the
let you
hidden
play it.
hour of the day, the 13th hour at night, when the mall gets
Run by the demonic corporate manager of like the 13th hour.
Yeah, who was?
That is what the lady was.
Who was, by the way, she was the noonday demon, the metaphysical
I didn't know that was a thing.
embodiment of ennui. Dallas caught it. Yeah, no, it's a.
Okay.
Anyway,
That's
we
super
don't-
obscure and I love it. Anyway, due to the rarity of victims required to Creekoetic warlocks, they are only assigned to the heretic commanders with the greatest renown, need, and the right connections in the twisted web of heretic politics. Mammon, the great devil deed, sell the services of his own battalion of warlocks to the highest bidder. So yeah, I like the point of how they put it. Hell is really petty. It's just a bunch of like it's like full of evil fucking people, but they're all like squabbling with each other because they're all like kind of petty and pathetic.
Also very classically true. I mean, that's all what like C.S. Lewis's like Screw Tape Letters is about and stuff. It's just like people like to imagine for various reasons that, you know, hell, the forces
Hell
of
is
evil,
combined.
whatever, are like, yeah, unified. They're all together, but it's like, no, that doesn't make any sense. If hell is full of both metaphysical and also all of the previously alive humans who were bad, they suck down there. Have you met people? There's no way they're getting shit done.
Remember the Death Commandos trained by literally the damn souls of the greatest killers?
Oh yeah.
That does remind me of some great jokes, though, about, I can't remember what franchise it was, but somebody was talking about, you know, well, you know, we're taking legal action against hell, but it's hard because they've got such a manpower leg over us. Indicating, obviously, that there are a lot more lawyers in hell than there are in the other way.
As a person that has lawyers in my family, I don't believe that. I think it depends on what kind of lawyer you're thinking about, because I think corrupt people any kind of.
I will say this, as someone who could have gone law and did study criminal justice.
I think dirty lawyers, baby. Yeah.
There's a lot of room and there's lots of jokes about the lawyers in hell because, like, the spectrum of things you can do as a lawyer are wide out there, and that can include both prosecutorial and the. I mean, there's a reason why there's a trope called the amoral attorney. This is, you know, there is something to be said for, like. Listen, Phoenix Wright only gets away with the, like, I've got to defend people to my last breath because they're innocent, because he defends a guilty person like maybe twice tops. Like,
yeah, and he also doesn't. He also like they get.
he has a lot of moral freedom.
They're super unwilling to commit to like him. Like, also for some reason in that world, they also don't call prosecutors attorneys. They call them prosecutors, and they're not attorneys.
I do actually believe that is respective of like how the Japanese legal system works, which is like being a prosecutor and being a defense attorney are very different, like, fields.
It's just also like in other countries. I think it's not really. It's just two sides.
I mean, yeah,
really.
no, in America we're just like I said, it's the.
You're gonna trigger both lawyers, whatever.
Yeah, you went to law school no matter what. All right,
one of you just in the state.
We did the Goetic guys. Let's do the. I forgot.
Let's do the serpent.
Oh,
yeah,
let's talk about the serpent. Okay, we haven't talked about that
well,
yet.
actually,
There
are,
we did mention this, that like the actual Lords of Hell can't come out of the gate, but they can send their guys out.
Yeah, that's why they like warp humans and like choose their people blessed by shit. The core of the Seventh Serpent is really cool because it's more like a fucked up hell. I like the Hell Knight design. I'll show you briefly. But I just want to briefly say like the last groups of like the main groups that are known for like the trench pilgrims, like the War Pilgrimage to St. Methodist and the Cavalcade of the 10th Plague. I like that one the most because it's really weird. The Cavalcade of the 10th Plague traditionally sacrifice lambs before battle. They anoint themselves in the blood to ward off the wrath of God. The pilgrims then draw holy symbols of the blood of the sacrifice upon their bodies, clothing and armor, and then march to battle singing hymns and certain belief that the blood of the lamb shields them from any harm.
Okay, then.
That's the classic Christianity shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, the War Pilgrims and Methodist is also the people that are in charge with they follow the Ancient Orthodox Crusade Methodists. They also are the people that have the communicants. They also condemn the use of martyrdom devices, which I don't know what that even means.
Martyrdom devices, probably a suicide bomb.
Yes. They condemn the use of martyrdom devices as the front to God's commandment against suicide. In Church Crusade.
Yeah, so 100% suicide bombers.
Yeah. It's will hold to believe that made the Church's view as an essential part of the crusade against the forces of Inferno. Okay, briefly, I want to show this. The war pilgrimage Methodists have a thing called the Shrine Anchorite, preparing for pilgrimage.
Yes.
They just wear fucking armor instead of communicants. An endless mire of the French Crusade, where heresy flourishes and the blood-drenched mud and zealotry twists the minds of men. There march a single flame unwearing tradition, the war pilgrimage of St. Methodists. These construding Orthodox warriors do not don the bleeding veils or consume the blood of false messiahs. They instead walk the path of the ancients, bearing icons of Eastern holiness, relics of shattered cathedrals, and faith bound by unbroken scripture. Where other courts madden in pursuit of divine favor, the followers of Methodists wield faith as sword and shield tempered in discipline, silence and prayer. They last bastion of pre-apocalyptic orthodoxy and do not bend, do not plead for spectacle, do not forgive corruption. They march to leave the holy citadel of Chesbionde, and they will not stop until the gates open or they die at its walls.
It's very solid. Yes, I remember. That's one thing I was thinking about. These guys are like technically like diesel punk mini mechas. You can see the like servos and the like stovepipe in his back, but they are not. Unlike the mechanized infantry, they are not chemically enhanced. They're just freeballing it.
They're just dudes in armor and like signs and shit. They're just like really classic Crusaders. So like
very, very orthodox. And that also reminds me, that was something I was going to bring up earlier that I forgot about. We should mention there's no Protestantism in this setting. There was no room to critique. Yeah, there was no time for that. There was no room to critique the Catholic Church. Demons are invading.
Yeah.
Not demons are here. Heretical creations are here.
There's no time for the
forces are invading.
No time.
The heretic lead, because listen. The very big part about the French Crusade, hell has not left hell. It's just all of the minions of hell are around. There's very big.
We've cycled people into hell and cycled them back out.
Have enough time.
If an actual demon came out, the war would be over.
Just one of the souls. Well, I don't know if the war would be over because, you know, if it was just one demon, you know, you could send just one angel, but that would still probably be catastrophic.
That'd probably erase at least hundreds of the legions and shit.
Let's just drop these 2 nuclear bombs on the same location and see what happens.
Not there yet, but that might come up in like the next. That's why it's World War I, not World War II, because they don't have nuclear bombs. So the artillery, which is a thing, but I think that's also just hydrogen bombs.
I was making that as a reference.
No, it's just an iron bomb.
Demon spawns, angel spawns.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Honestly, they honestly could probably grab like the fucking Nephilim around as like weird like divine troopers as a thing. Honestly.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there are some of these guys are supposed to be Cambians. They're supposed to be, you know, part fallen angel or part demon. Some of the Court of the Serpent forces are like demon-human hybrids.
All right, let's go through because we'll be doing this for like 2.5 hours. Honestly, I thought we were gonna go for 4, so we have time for this. We're gonna go through some of the things in the trench programs, and then we're gonna do the Court of the Seven-Headed Serpent. And that'll be mostly it, and maybe like some side things, but like, I think that sounds fair.
Yeah.
All right then.
With whatever.
All right, then let's see here. We have trench programs, only known for like those of the main faction that uses the communicants. So we have like as like mercenary units, the list you can basically get the Witch Burner, the Combat Medic, the Communicus Anti-Tank Hunter, and the Mentalist Ammo Monk to go with the Tank Hunter. This has already been shown.
I think you need the Ammo Monk to go with the Tank Hunter to even just take them.
I'm not sure, but I think they're separate models at least.
I am fairly certain they are.
Yeah, we have the Shrine Anchorite is one of the units of trench programs. We then have the Stigmatic Yun, which we can't show.
Yeah.
We have the Ecclesiastic Prisoner.
Okay.
These are the martyrdom devices.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's not even wireless. It's lined.
Oh yeah, radios.
They haven't.
I can totally picture some weird penitent monk-looking guy, mouth open. You just hear the dial-up noise just coming out.
Bound in chains, their minds consumed by a desperate resolve, prisoners surge forth, driven by the hope that their sacrificial charge will somehow cleanse their tarnished souls.
Tarnished souls?
Quite.
So basically, if you were like someone that grew up in like the hell, if you grew up like in the fucking, I guess the baronies of like the hell, like the fucking heretic baronies, and you basically wanted to escape because you were horrified with the Hellgate and all the constantly dying enslaved people, you'd still have to go. You probably still end up one of these guys because you just wanted to like you wanted not to be damned to hell for just being born
and
to
also
a
if you're
heretic.
just a normal criminal probably, because keeping up with scripture can be hard. I'm pretty sure there were some of these guys in the because one of the ways I have heard about Trench Crusade is there was a Rubik's Raptor video. They did an Arma mod.
Oh boy.
Where I believe they did have several of these guys and got exploded. I believe they were New Antioch, but they had some ancillary units running around.
Also,
Well,
time to show you
gotta
guys.
go dig that up to look at.
Also, time to show you guys the poster child, the Trench Pilgrim himself.
John Trench Crusade?
Yes.
That is John Trench Crusade. Yeah, that's him.
Oh yeah.
It's a very long bayonet, but I think you need one that long. Also, you can see the fucking. You need one that long, I think, to stab into a mechanized infantry dude, because
Got, like, a trench
those are the
mace.
big guys you're probably focusing your fire on, honestly. Besides like, the actual other like heretic troopers.
I mean,
Even less than like just even stabbing it into a mechanized infantry, and more so of like, I don't want anything that close to me.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, and like World War I, like turn of the century era rifles were like. Dallas talked about it a
Also,
little,
this
but
is
like we had
this is
no
extra
idea what
long one.
warfare was gonna look like. Like it was all just guesstimates, until the big one. So like lots of those rifle platforms were in fact super long because they were just like, oh well, we're gonna line up and shoot the other guys from really far away. That's how we'll do it. And then it's like, well, we will do that because we're a gajillion miles away, but it turns out artillery's longer range than our rifles anyway, so, if you're fighting in close quarters in a trench, it's not great, but that's why you have this guy with a giant bayonet that is strapped there. He doesn't even have a bayonet lug. It looks like it's just bolted onto the barrel.
Also, as a side thing, I need to ask, how do you say this?
Hit me. Oh, a capirote. It's Spanish.
Yeah, so that is what they're wearing. That's the thing. That's why there's the fucking thing attached to them. Because let's see, the bulk of the pilgrims are men and women with very little military training. But when they don the iron capirote of a trench pilgrim, they can face even a demon from the deepest Belokias of hell unflinchingly. Nor is death necessarily enter their mission. Sometimes the seventh Metachrist will deem a fallen pilgrim worthy and bring them back as martyr penitents, warriors halfway between heaven and earth, able to fight once more and feel no pain from bullet or bayonet thrust.
Yes, the
here's
capirote
a
is
show-
the spooky pointed hat that Spanish inquisitors and a certain organization in America, we probably should not mention by name because I bet YouTube won't like that because they are a hate group. But
Well, in this case, this is the original. It's the original thing of these.
These guys are wearing iron capirotes, which is like based on the actual, again, the Catholic tradition.
You talking about the Not Okay Club?
Yeah. Yes.
Also, you also could tell on the base of his rifle is the cross, which is cool. They made an extra long so we fit a cross on it.
Crest in there.
Huh?
He's also got an iron butt plate in there, which is again that helps reinforce the rifle. But also, if the bayonet end doesn't work, you can strike him with the stock and not break it.
I think a trench program that's already lasted more than 3 battles has probably used every part of the rifle for something.
I mean, you'll notice that these guys are carrying. He's carrying a straight up trench mace, like a trench club, but it's
Also, I
properly
think he's
made
going. I
shape.
think he's barefoot because I think his shoes worn out.
Oh yeah, no, he's 100% barefoot.
Yeah, which you should not do, by the way. You trench foot in an instant, but yeah, it's very funny to see all this padded stuff. And
Also, the problem is, I think there's also like I also think the Black Crow has made demonic trench foot.
that's why you
Wouldn't
should wear
surprise
something-
me.
It should wear you wear something on your feet. In fact, you should
We've
probably
made it
wrap your feet
worse.
in-
Why?
Remember, there's the mosquito dogs spreading pestilence everywhere.
I know,
Right,
but
not-
just
not
the
only should you cover your feet, but you should wrap your feet in scriptures. Actually,
I think some units have that, like, scripture shocks or something.
Just picturing just fucking Beelzebub going, so, I've made all these diseases, but, I didn't touch the common cold. That's bad enough.
It's like I already did. It's like I already made that. Like, fuck that.
That was my magnum opus.
Remember, the common cold was also the Black Death.
Yes.
Yeah.
It killed a lot of fucking people back then.
Yeah.
So, like, it did its job. And most people that died, I think, came back as fucking plague zombies because the flies would just infest the bodies and, yeah.
Yep.
Remember, Jean d'Arc got those guys out of Europe.
Yeah.
Yes, good, makes sense.
Yes. So, the Martyr Penitence is this. This is I put spoilers for a reason. Don't look at it. It's category. This martyr also suffered grievous injuries. Has been resurrected by a Metachrist, driven insane by the constant pain and existential horror, and is descended into religious madness. It believes it must continue mortifying its own flesh as penitence for its sins.
That's why it has literal self-flagellance.
Yep. To your one point, it's really not that bad of a picture. Definitely not YouTube.
I just don't want to show it.
Yeah.
No,
I looked at it and I'm like, nah, that's probably a little too much up close gore to show on stream. But chat, this guy was revived from being dead by, I think, getting shot through the torso. So the seventh Metachrist couldn't fix him that much. Let's just say.
It just brought him back because he was like a soul that was deemed to be going to heaven. So like they pushed him back down to his body.
He's going to heaven. Nah, come back down here. You still got work to do.
That is actually how that works, unfortunately, for those people.
I know.
not even in death does duty end.
For some of them. For the unlucky few, just you can't say that openly because that's a castigator would hit you for that. On the top of a castigator, we have the morale people. I'm not sure if we can post this one on YouTube, but like, because it's like you look at it enough, and it might be really a bit too fucked up. But task of instilling the fear of God in the troops, the orthodoxy officer keeps the soldiers on the path of righteousness and punishes those who transgress. They embrace the unmoving faith as well as the saints they revere.
This reminds me of that thing Omega said earlier about the debate about how many fucking nails were used on Big JC himself.
He's got
There's 7 nails for each for the 7 Metacrists.
He's got some extra nails and some extra hands. We can show that. That's just hand stuff.
It's gross, but it's not horrific.
If you're concerned about hand stuff, first of all, you should stop watching the stream so long ago.
I also should mention that like flagellation is a holy act seen in some churches. So like yes, so a castigator is a holy thing. This makes entire sense actually. This is why flagellation is not actually a thing in the devils because it's seen as a religious like good thing to do to purify yourself.
Well, yeah, that's also true to
yeah, that makes sense with them.
Self-flagellants and stuff like that. And in 40k they have arco-flagellants.
Yes, arco-flagellants.
And then as a side thing we have then, I think just tell me how this weapon works, but like this weapon's weird. This is a war prophet. You're the prophet, for she is prepared to die for the troop, as are her zealous followers. For those who stand against her are doomed to die. A charismatic leader and powerful fighter of the pilgrim group. They are driven by visions of Armageddon, and their preaching and prophecies drive the pilgrimage from one battlefield to the next as they seek to form the forces of Satan and find martyrdom in combat.
Is that a medicinal lucerne?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just got a red cross on it. Like there's a lot of symbolism of that. I'm not sure what's going on.
I think it's pressurized or something, actually.
But I do love this
the red cross. I'm not
juxtaposition.
happy about that.
No, it's a white cross. Thank you very much.
It's a white on red cross, but that's very classic Christian iconography anyway. But I do love the juxtaposition we just talked about, where like this prophet is wearing medieval style plate mail armor
with a speaker
and,
system
on her
back,
and then and she's got fucking an amplifier tubes plugged into a couple of air raid speakers to be like
probably into her lungs or her throat or something, just to like magnify her voice.
I think it looks like it's just plugged into the front collar of the armor.
She also has a fuck ton of bells around her. She also has a cross made of crosses.
Yeah. Well, okay. To be fair, that is a typical Catholic design for the cross itself. So
yeah, there are many fancy ways you can draw a crucifix.
Basically, she does a bunch of sermons. Like I assume she has a buff aura. She does and can do like buff abilities for units.
It's important.
That would track.
Well, this is all the shown units besides the sub-factions of the Church Pilgrims. So let's go into, I think, one of my, like, the actual, besides the Path of the Beast, which are entirely extraneous to, like, Unfaithful. They're just part of, like, the fucked up nature of the chaos parts of the world. They're not, because like Path of the Beast is not really hell or the faithful. It's just something that exists, and that's the scary part. So that's why I showed them earlier, because yeah. So we're going to talk about the Court of the Seven-Headed Serpent now. I'm going to read a little bit because I actually like these ones the most, because they actually talk about the politics of hell the most. So I'm going to drink some water.
Yeah, I think you might need to drink water, and you have been. This isn't a bad thing when I say it, yapping a lot, which is like you need to breathe, my dude.
Here's a sigil, but here's a symbol of it.
With adroitness. Yeah, this is their actual symbol.
Each one has a symbol.
Creatures like professional yappers.
Yeah. Yabba, the Great Destroyer for Palin. That's a grunt. Yeah. Jutting from the eternal plumes of corrosive smoke, the Iron City of Dis hosts a streaking black keep atop which many find the infernal war council. Here set the 7 most wicked and cunning archdevils, each representing one of the 7 mortal sins made manifest. They are rulers of the court of the 7-headed serpent, overseeing hell's war against creation on earth. Each is known as one of the heads of the serpent, and only is their command that dictate the military forces of the Great War and surface the infernal hierarchy. In this twisted, treacherous, and ever-shifting political arena, even the mightiest devils rarely sit at the Great War Council for long. Towering statues of the serpent heads represent wrath, envy, pride, gluttony, greed, sloth, and lust. There's other sins and other virtues, but they don't use those. Erected by Dis, by slavery work gangs of yoke fiends. Only I wish, actually, briefly, I was going to show you what a yoke fiend looks like. You might not want to show that one, but it's like, just briefly do a side tangent to show you the yoke fiend. I'm going to spoil this one because I think it's also gross. Briefing. A yoke fiend sometimes stands about 7 to 8 feet tall, with layers of shivering fat and muscle brandished by their masters, carved by the knives of the hell priests that mark them as property of greater demons. They accept bestial features such as horns and hooves of cattle or goats, ape-like limbs with immense dense bones. They hate seeing their own reflections, as in their heart of hearts they know the beauty and glory they have lost for all eternity.
Yeah.
These are basically like the slaves. These are like these are the weird slave units that basically make this the court.
Yep.
I see it. I don't like it, but I see it.
Yeah, I don't know if you show it on YouTube because it's a bit much. But like, I just see just look at the hole in his chest.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's just he's cut some skin out. That's compared to shit we've already showed. That's not that bad.
No, it's just gross. It just looks grosser than some of the things to me.
Well, you know, some of you may have very specific phobias, but I hope anybody jumping into our episode about Trench Crusade is not going like, "Oh boy, I'm so excited to learn about Trench Crusade."
Yeah, no,
I did not give a content warning at the front, and probably should have, but we did mention several times we were talking about Trench Crusade, and it's gross. The thumbnail has the blurb about hell on earth and stuff, so like I don't know.
That's not an exaggeration.
If you clicked on this video and you didn't know somehow, I'm sorry. But also, how did you get here? How did you get here at 2 hours and 38 minutes, especially?
I cover this because I think the setting is interesting, but I also think it's horribly fucked up and like something I would like to have.
They're doing a pretty good job of like combining like actual like doing some genuine world building and then also the gloop. Like it's
and actual historical things, yeah.
I mean, you gotta have the gloop every once in a while.
Yes. It's by slavering war gangs of yoke fiends only be torn down again and crushed into rubble as new devil lords rise to the pinnacle power by trampling over their rivals. The court of the 7-headed serpent are what I would say as they are the hierarchy. They are the nobles of hell. They are basically, if I'll put it like this, I'm gonna say it like this, and I was the king. If the heretic legions are more of like traitor guard and like all their weird special like hell beasts and shit, the Court of the 7-headed serpent is the Black Legion.
Yeah. Yeah, that tracks.
The Black Rail is the Death Guard.
Oh, 100%.
The most disgusting way possible.
Oh yeah, and I'm here for it.
I think it's grosser, but it's also like I like the Path of the Beast because I think I like that monstrousness, even though it's fucking disgusting.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has their own flavor of fucked up that they are into, whether they admit to it or not.
I like Digital Devil sagas. I always like that kind of fucked up. But anyway, the hierarchy of the court is anything but stable. Only Mammon is said to have held the position of the seventh serpent head of greed about O's outbreak for the duration of the entire Great War. Basically, there are like the whole Goetia. Image it like this: there's the whole Goetia, but they're all like fighting to see who gets to be part of who gets to be the Sin Lords, essentially. So only Mammon is unbroken, which means Beelzebub I think has not been there the whole time because I think he's technically newer than some of the other archdevils. Because it means that it also means that Baal used to exist and became a demon, unless they don't count that because technically Baal existed before Beelzebub. So like,
who knows?
What do you think? It's also the Iron City of Dis. Am I still there?
Yeah, I am here.
Okay.
I'm thinking about. I was about to run out and grab some water, but so I was distracted. But
Go grab some water, then I'll keep reading.
Well, I'm waiting for the especially since you said maybe not show this, but I was waiting for like the next visual cue. But if it won't be for a while, I will go refill my water. I have my headset on. It's just.
Yes, it's like only Mammon is the only one that head. It's like other positions have been set up a wielding parade of dukes, marquises, margraves, barons, and baronesses, paramounts, princes, lords, ladies, earls, and various other high nobles that make up the infernal hierarchy. This whirlwind of political glory, followed by utter ruin, is reflected as shifts of power among the mortal followers of Earth. The council operates a majority vote, and often with the thinness of margins. It takes very little for an ambitious prince or princess of hell to make so many enemies that they are deposed and their wings torn, force them to begin their ascent from the bottom once more, with the mockery of their rivals burning them like venom. Countless envious pretenders war against the head of the serpent, seeking to replace them and gain the glory and prestige that comes with such a lofty position. The might of demons also waxes and wanes based on how many mortal followers they corrupt to their cause. And plus, there's a constant change in what demon lords can don one of the seven serpent-headed crowns. While Beelzebub is the most powerful devil of gluttony by far, the Lord of Flies scorns his rightful place at the court, waging his battle against creation through his black row instead. This leaves the seat open so the lesser fallen angels can struggle for the honor of sitting on the hungry throne. So yeah, Beelzebub might be his own thing. Like, he used to have his position, but he also might that he's also like he made his own thing and just kind of went off to go make crimes against nature, even hell itself.
As one does.
He has a position of as the Lord, but he don't care.
He beat the Black Grail, which already
you are on this council, but you do not have the position of master.
Other way around.
Yeah,
he has the
much.
position of master, but he's like, I'm not sitting on the fucking council. Make me vote. I'm gonna go do my own thing.
No one can stop him because I think he existed before time and space, supposedly. Because the flies are things that are not made of hell. They are something before hell and beyond it. That is
also,
thing
he's
that's
an
about.
eldritch being.
Yes.
Lovely.
Yes. Upon the commands of the court, the warbands of hell gather at the Hellgate and strike out to blight our unhappy world. Yoke fiends muster the barons, their praetors and sorcerers, the shattered forms, the Hell Knights, their fortunes, and their suits of armor, emerging from the fiery tombs where their bodies are kept crushed under mighty, ever-turning slabs of black basalt where they're not serving in the war effort. Desecrated saints are brought forth to act as unholy war altars that pollute and pervert the land which they travel over. Ahead like fly pit locusts. We're first thing. I'm gonna show you guys Hell Knights, because I think we had to show these, because I think these guys are fucking cool.
What you talked about earlier, yeah. Well,
Look at this shit. Look how they're. I don't think there's a soul behind those. I don't think there's a soul behind that armor. I think it's just I think there's no body under that armor.
Yep, that's an Elder Ring guy.
That's a Hell Knight.
Yep.
The silent battalions of hell summoned serve when the court of the 700 servant seeks sport, are composed of Hell Knights. The ever-burning banners stream as they march to war, carrying out the bidding of their masters. They are the bannerets of the high lords of the court, champions who respond to flourish mortals daring to challenge the hunting parties of the serpent's nobility, who embark on excursions beyond the gate to their amusement. I think it's funny to say that, like, hell is mostly full of a bunch of basically bickering nobles and shit that just are swapping so much with each other they can barely decide on a vote on anything, but they have to vote because otherwise they get nothing done.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Hell's got a lot of big personalities.
I mean, yes, it's funny to me. It's like the faithful have no idea. They just think hell is like this, like, vacuous, unending evil.
Well, yeah,
it's
not like they can get.
They're so well organized, and meanwhile, it's just like, so what do you guys want to eat for dinner tonight?
8 other people say something else.
Oh, but I feel like pizza.
I feel like it's the hearts of the innocent again. We gave this to Death Commandos.
We had that last week.
There's also like literally hundreds of different like nobles and shit because just like all the bad people would help that can know political maneuvering, which means most nobles in history probably went to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Here's the Hell Knight. Back to where I was. Let's see here. Yes. Desecrated saints are buffered to act as a holy war altars that fluid pervert the land which they travel over. I would assure the Desecrated Saint. It's one of the most tragic things ever. I'm gonna read this too.
Oh no.
Desecrated saints are the most prized possessions of the lords of hell. Men and women who were once destined to become saints, great prophets, or holy ones according to God's plan, but were led astray and fell from grace. Also, God's plan is capitalized. To make that like it's actually a thing that exists in the setting. Men were once righteous rulers or religious leaders, dedicated to bring prosperity and glory to their people, but pride, desperation, or eagerness to achieve martyrdom led them to commit some inedible evil or sin, or inedible sin or evil. Often for the motives that are believed to be good and pure, some sacrificed living humans thinking it was what demanded of them. Others carried out wars after they were commanded to stop, or some sought to do miracles through magic. When their deeds led to their downfall and death, they were entombed inside unholy reliquaries, only to wake up in hell, still encased in the shrine that had now become their prison. Desecrated saints are kept as a symbol of pride for them by the mighty devil lord who corrupted them. The body of the reliquary is made of the saints' retinue in life, as well as the greatest vanquished foes that have continually added to it over eons of existence. The husk of these devout who swore to follow their holy leaders to death and beyond for the towering body of this abomination. These remains, along with their armor and weapon, are tarnished and corrupted and fused together over the long millennia into a walking prison, within which the desecrated saint remains conscious and deaf with this never-ending fall and cost of their folly. It's the most tragic unit, I think, in the game.
Once again, shit sucks, yo.
Yes, and also, like, they're also basically used as, like, weird prize trophy pets to be like, here's my desecrated saint, here's mine. It's like, he's, like, killed, like, over 50 of his brothers. It's like, this lady has tarnished over hundreds of souls to their doom. It's like, they, like, collect, they're basically, like, they're fucking chihuahua pets of doom. Also, as a thing,
I have a
here.
foil rare desecrated saint.
Honestly, yes, it kind of is like that. There's a fierce competition between the archdevils to see those desecrated saint displays the greatest splendor and prestige, as their walking blasphemous tabernacle vanquishes champions of Yahweh over its eternal existence. It collects their shields and bucklers to hang above its body, a mockery of the Tower of David with 1,000 bucklers.
Actually went with Yahweh, okay.
Yeah, they did.
Yotid Vate.
When the court travels to make way or hunt, this blasphemous tabard often goes with them, both as a terrible battle standard, but also a potent weapon of war. Due to the deviation of the saint's mission to the sacred service of evil, a dark aura surrounds it. Within this aura, the laws of God are perverted and cease to exist. Down is up, strength is weakness, and the strongest of shields and armor as brittle as glass. In battle, it wields a variety of once holy weapons and base relics, bringing the very power of hell on earth in a way not even the most more mightiest moral heretic ever could. So, like, this is one of their strongest units, but it's also just, like, really sad, and, like, it's a mercy to kill them.
Well, yeah, you know, they say desecrated saints, so, like, it tracks.
I feel like it's a mercy to kill anything in this setting.
Also,
Some
true.
things like to be there, though, actually. Some things like to be here, like those Hell Knights.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Or, like, the mechanized heavy infantry, because they wanted that. Like, the Anointeds wanted to be that.
True. But that's also why you should kill them, because you should tell them to go back to hell and fuck off.
I think you kill them, but their souls go back, but not their bodies. So, like, hell loses the resources at least.
Probably.
Oh no, hell loses the resources.
I mean, you need that because eventually, like, the river, the lake of fire will eventually go out. There's only so much of it. It's not infinite, technically.
Hell has limited resources is not a sentence I expected to hear.
I mean, in this setting, it feels like that makes sense.
In a sense, it's true. Like, it doesn't sound like they necessarily have, like, what we would consider to be normally limited resources, but as we did point out, they need human followers to go out and, like, do stuff and handle the stuff they send out from hell. So, like, no, yeah, losing the because, like, you can't, not just any asshole can be anointed.
You have to
They
survive
to
getting
be-
down
they-
there.
Yeah, they have to be really, really evil souls. Those don't grow on trees. So, like, if you lose one and it's like, and he doesn't come back as, like, an anointed, you know, it's just like, well, no, he's just down. He's just stuck back here. We can't send him through. That is a waste
He's
of
just
resources.
he'll probably just join the court and squabble about, or become a yoke fiend to do our slave labor. Yeah. Let's see here.
Okay.
But yes,
Had
beyond,
the
beyond
warbands fly.
our desecrated friends here.
Ahead, the warbands
what's-
fly. Pit
what's
locusts.
Next.
The clatter of the wings heralding the coming of the court. Their poison sings leave burns that cannot be healed. And sometimes with the deathly omens in hell, in hell's burning sky and black stars of April, a hunter of the left path will join a warband as they strike out from the mouth of hell. We'll talk about those two next. So here's a pit locust. I think one of the cooler designs. Look at this fucking unholy thing.
Oh yeah.
So, it's been a while since we mentioned it, but to catch people up, people in chat asking about it, Trench Crusade is
This is
a
hell-
war game.
This is a war game of very.
It's a tabletop
kinda
war
deep
game,
set.
and that's why it's called Trench Crusade, because it's like a fantastical demonic World War I, 1914. So yes, this is talking about.
This is honestly, I think it's kind of beautiful and how like horrific it is.
It's very elegantly freaky, shall we
I will
say?
say this: the blurb for these creatures are literally a code for the Book of Revelation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it.
There are theories of what these are, but there's no like specific thing. But these are hell locusts, so like they're I think just lesser fallen angels as like creatures.
There's some sort of evil entity.
If you told me this was a sin eater, I'd believe it in a heartbeat.
Let's see, there came out the smoke locusts upon the earth, and then given powers the scorpions of earth have power, and the shape of the locusts were unto horses prepared for battle. It's literally a quote from the Book of Revelation.
Hell horse locust. All right.
They have breastplates that they're breastplates of iron. The wings are the shape of chariots as many horses bring to battle. So it's like, this is literally just a design. This is a biblically accurate creature. This is a Revelation accurate creature, which is funny. And you're like, yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah, he's real fucked up. I don't have.
There's
much
like
more
lore
to
about
add
these
to that.
things, but that's like a theorized. I'm not gonna talk about it because it involves like sacrificing children. So I'm just not gonna go there. That's the other thing we're gonna go about. The Hunter of the Left Path, which is the left-hand path, which is a thing I showed you guys earlier, but I think I want to tell you the story behind this guy because it's fucking crazy.
Sorry, I nodded there to be like, yes, go ahead.
The Hunters of the Court of the 700 Servant are followers of the left-hand path. They stalk the primordial hinterlands of hell, where they hunt terrifying beasts and perform vile magics and augury using the innards of their still living prey to discern portents and omens. They follow the hidden paths, the secret ley lines that connect the eons-old shrines and ruins that still endure in the cancerous, tortured wilds of hell. The hunters haunt the remnants of kingdoms, the site of ancient battles, and places of legend long forgotten by the scribes and cartographers of hell. In solitary rituals, the hunters make appalling oblations before these forgotten shrines, genuflecting and making obeisance.
Take your time, breathe.
I'm just gonna
About
show you
this.
guys the word. It's like, how do I say this?
Obeisance.
Making obeisance to enigmatic beings of awesome power whose names even the archdevils have forgotten. So these guys like
Hell
pray to
is-
like
is
forgotten gods.
old. Hell old.
Arm
These
themselves.
guys got. These
Older
guys
shit.
go to the way back. Also, it's funny again talking about the slight like FromSoft influences. I didn't think about this before, but
This is like a Bloodborne monster, yes.
well, also Godskin Duo. Anybody like he's wearing a flesh coat. I'm pretty sure. Like
Yeah.
like, he's got a
The
mantle.
Godskin, yeah, the
made of
Godskin,
skin.
the Godskin apostles, yeah.
So like he's also very gloopy.
To arm themselves, the hunters perform strange rites on their left arm, driving into nails of infernal iron forged in the foundries of the city of Pandemonium. Sorry, I think about normal raids. Pandemonium. The left arm grows into wicked shapes, often taking the form of a powerful hunting bow that fires arrows made of the hunter's own diseased blood. Such darts can be used for bloody purposes, killing their prey outright, paralyzing them, or causing them to see visions of their own demise. They wear the pale skins of the stargazing oracle beasts that wander the burning plains of hell in great herds.
What are you talking about, Axe? You cannot escape my eternal gaze.
The The eyes of the oracles are alive even after they're deaf, but watch out for the new master that wears their skin as a cloak. So yes, like it is God's skin, but it's actually more like it's like infernal star beasts, because there's like weird animals in hell that just can see space and time.
Hell's weird. News at 11.
Hell, yeah. Hell's its own thing, which is like, it's funny how like there's also just like, it makes sense why Beelzebub stuff just kind of exists outside of town. It just never mind. There were the pale skins, the sarcastic oracle beasts. Yeah. When called to war on Earth, the Devil Lords can really only hope the hunters answer to their summons, as the hunters do always listen. Therefore, the solitude of the wilds of hell, where they can ruminate upon its vile majesty, and consider the orders of the Princes of Hell suggestions at best. But one can be persuaded to join the hunt of the court on Earth. They can traverse the paths of no man's land just as easily as the wastes of hell, for the ley lines of hell are reflected upon the fallen creation. So I like these things because they insinuate just a lot of other world building.
Yeah, they're very
Eldritch.
Sorry, yeah, they are eldritch and unknowable. I was trying to figure out something more eloquent than just gloopy. Like it's very like, it's not firm world building. It's very flexible world building, but it's very interesting. Yes, that like we imply a lot of like the greater expanse of the universe, and like we leave room.
Also, how Earth is maybe a failed creation.
Well, I think that's actually supposed to be, that could, fallen creation could be talking about hell, or it could be talking about their plans for the Earth and stuff like that. But we've got a lot of like I said, we've got a lot of ambiguity and a lot of wiggle room to make some interesting things going on.
That reminds me, Axe. Have you looked up anything about Ultra Kill?
Yeah,
Yes, I know. Hell is full. Like Earth is empty. Hell is full. Kill.
Okay.
Kill the dead. Yeah.
Blood is fuel.
That's full. Yes. So I would briefly talk about the heads of the serpents. To list these off, the Iron Krukul of Wrath is Abaddon, the great prince of wrath. We have the Black Clismos of Envy, the Moloch, the demon prince of envy. We do not know who is the High Caladra of pride. We totally do not know who is the Hungry Throne of Gluttony, because Beelzebub rejected the seat. We have the Golden Seed of Greed, Mammon, the Archangel of Greed. He's not lost it forever. He's had it since the beginning of the court. We do not know who is the Silk Man of Sloth, and we do not know who is the Flesh Divan of Lust. D-I-V-A-N. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that is Divan. I don't know why we would say that about
The Flesh Divan of Lust. Yeah, it's like
that's all just like. That's just all of us leaving our room open for our sub-factions, basically. They're like, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
yes.
We have room for later. We have room to grow, which is always very important, so we don't need to, cut ourselves off.
Yes. So, the last two things is I'm going to show you the Auxilia Sorcerers.
Very, very interesting room of, like, leaving that open. And it's like, Mammon is greed, pretty normal. Beelzebub is gluttony, I think, is also pretty normal. Moloch as,
Envy.
Envy is like interesting but not unheard of.
I will say also there's a whole thing of
snake. It's not an intestine.
Yes, I'll read you what this is. Auxilia sorcerers come in many forms to manipulate their own bodies to better cast the mighty spells they are charged with. Some have many arms, other multiple heads, or countless alterations and terrible improvements. Some administered other by forces based on the whims of the Archdevil and their cabal of high sorcerers who lead their poetic strategy. A sorcerer's feet does not touch the ground, a distant echo of their angelic past, but instead float across no man's land, changing the cruel gospel of hell as they advance. Their dark wisdom and cunning make them equally capable of leading one of the court's warbands or acting as an advisor to one of the praetors as they stride forth into the mortal realms.
Man, this guy just does it all.
Yeah, this guy modifies himself to cast magic. Because magic is always fucked up. But basically, magic's only a thing of the devil. Because it's supposedly like there's no, because holy stuff is not magic. It is basically it's the might of God to smite people.
The sorcery is it's goetic style magic. So yeah, you call upon demons to do stuff through various means, most of which are based around
the witch burner can also just cause like magic to like divine power to just smite you. But that's like I think.
Well, that's just he asking God.
Mods.
Burn that guy.
Crush your skull.
And it works.
The mods of heaven, please.
It's supposed to be how divine intervention is supposed to work.
Yeah. So basically, divine stuff is basically just like magic nuke beams, but hell is actual magic you can target it with.
Hell is sorcery. We're actually doing a process.
Yes, my crush your skull.
Yeah, but fucking Satan. Love that redesign.
Also to show you, I love the thing too. The fucking, I'm trying to remember the actual term for it. And here is the Praetor. These are like Praetors are demonic commanders and magistrates within a small corner of a fiefdom of a mighty archdevil or demon lord. Each command small cohorts at their liege's behest. Raise the denizens of the ever-shifting domains of hell. Ill fiends muster at their command, and hell knights bound to blind obedience bend their knees to these field commanders of hell. So I don't think this is a demon, but it's like it might be a lesser demon, so I don't think it counts as enough of a demon enough to like bring the angels. I guess.
I think they're supposed to be related to demons.
No,
but...
yeah, they're related to. I remember some of the lore that I was looking into a while ago, but
I think
basically,
I mentioned earlier, these guys are supposed to be like the Cambions.
Let me see here.
They're descended from demons, but they are not themselves.
In truth, let's see here. In truth, Praetors are a twisted bastard offspring of a beast such as a hyena or jackal and a devil, each granting each pair demonic cunning and bestial strength. However, due to its low mortal blood, it is not able to attain the important command positions unless they show great strategic acumen or cruelty over long years of service.
there you go.
Okay, yeah. So they are part demon, part animal, which means that they are stronger than men, but they're not full-blown demons. So they're wacky.
Yeah, let's see. Being a descendant of celestial beings, no matter how fallen and tarnished, each Praetor is a mighty being, tower over lesser creatures. They are born with 4 faces, matching the faces of their angelic progenitors. God, angels descending looks so fucking crazy.
Classic, be not afraid shit.
Supposedly, there's a story when an angel showed up and like everyone asked not to look because everyone that looked, they just like fucking disintegrated.
Yeah, he turned into a pillar of salt.
No. It wasn't. No, actually. There was a story in Crusade where an angel, where it's like an account of a soldier talking about an angel showing up, but he was the only one of the only people of his entire company that did not look at the angel. Everyone else became dust, not salt, because the salt thing is a thing angels could do at will to target people.
Yeah, thanks, Mastema. You fuck.
And Mastema, yeah. Be unto salt as for your sin. But yeah, these are like the lowborn nobles of hell, but they're also like generals of the army of the court.
Oh yeah, they're
because
commanders because they can actually get free.
Yeah, because they can actually leave without escalating the DEFCON. But yeah, that is all of the units of the court besides the like sorcerers and like the wretched and Leo queens.
I don't think this is literally every unit, but we ran through a lot of the key art we could show.
Every unit has an image that has an image worth showing. So like yeah.
Yeah.
There's like other minor
factions
factions that
yeah, and they're working on more stuff. I mean, we didn't talk much about the Iron Wall, but we don't have to. It's almost 10 o'clock.
Actually, you're right. I want to at least show 1-2 things from the Iron, because we showed at the beginning about like the FSS. I want to at least show one thing about the Iron Wall, because I'm just gonna show the image of those. So,
all right. Give me the image and I'll feed it in. But
because let's have.
Click on the wrong zone.
All right, we have the Jabrian alchemist.
They've got a weird little guy.
The Lion of Jabir.
Yeah,
and the Brazen Bull. These are homunculi, or at least it's an alchemist or homunculi, and then other homunculi they have made in secret dark basements underneath the wall of the Sultanate.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, we should probably. I can collage them real quick.
Also, the Iron Sultanate has basically Thunder Warriors.
Well, yeah, because they've got alchemically enhanced guys.
Yeah, they have the Janissaries, which are okay,
so that's that. Yeah, that's that.
Yeah, how do I say this? Like, they're called this.
Yeah, it's Janissary.
Janissary. And these are basically guys
thing.
augmented by elixirs and basically made where they only their mind only is only left to their mind is loyal.
Yeah.
No, actually, is only loyal to the Sultan. So like. Yeah, their mind, it's like, the spiritual alchemy beings bound by chains unseen, their minds are carefully conditioned until they attain a complete and unwavering loyalty to the Sultan and him alone. So these are like special soldiers that are alchemically, but it's like, I think it's cool that like they're
everybody has their
faction.
Yeah, every faction basically has their super soldier and then also have their regular guys. So
The thing about it is like the Sultanate's a bit weird because they have way more special units, I think, because they have alchemy stuff.
You know,
But I
they
guess
gotta have
the
magic
other
levels.
faithful factions have the more like mechanical stuff. Well, these are more alchemical.
But yes, there's a we ran with. Sorry, I'm trying to organize my thoughts to lead towards a conclusion. Always the shittiest part of writing the essay.
Yeah.
Openers and enders. Axe right through the timeline earlier, so you know, if you caught the stream late, you can go back and follow through on that. And yeah,
It
it's a
took
really
some tangents on
interesting
the way, but I
setting,
thought it was
and
fair
there's
at the
a lot
time,
of
but yeah.
really, there is a lot of really neat stuff, and you know, we've kind of shown a little bit of all the different factions. Like I said, they have various sub factions and elements, and clearly have room to expand other things. You know, they've got room out there to go on about stuff. And,
Like
'cause they're
this
pretty
is them
new,
doing
so there's
this
a
is
lot
the
of
this is the Islamic faction of being like actual like classical Islam stuff, and it's like I kind of so I want to see what they do with the Jewish people because it's like I think they can pull some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like I
would
think a
be
golem
good
and
to
like
know
I
some
think
people
like
out
anointed
there,
knights of
especially.
like I just think like knights of like literally the Star of David on their chest would be cool. But there's also probably other shit in there they'd probably put in there.
Well, there's other there. Like I know a lot of people are curious about what's going on because you know there's stuff going for like, you know, further south in Africa. There's you know obviously a lot of room there. You've got you know the other side of the
What
Sultanate.
what is
you know,
Russia? I
in
guess.
Asia. Yeah, if you go far to the north, they've talked a little about like the Nordic Peninsula and stuff like that. There's some room there for some interesting things that could be various factions and other stuff. So
Baba
there's a lot of
Yaga,
stuff
Baba
going on.
Yaga has like anecdotes and is on the maps of the setting. She's real. And she's like an unfact. She's like an un. I put like
I
this.
mean, yeah, she's Baba Yaga.
She's
that's how that works.
she is not she is not faction of the faithful, but she's anti-hell because she's of Earth.
That sounds like Baba Yaga. So yeah, it's a very interesting setting. They got some stuff going on. We're at the point once again where I need to take a bio break, but also the stream's towards the end, so it's like one of those things where I don't want to rush the conclusion, but also it's like it's time to wrap up for me.
Yeah, it's
Or
like
ladder.
I probably should have covered like the stuff of the Islamic faction more, but like I think they're the coolest on their own. So,
I
like,
mean, you basically freewheeled this with like what, like a week ago we talked about this tops, like Wednesday maybe last
Yes.
Wednesday. So like
I only
this is pretty good.
I just mentally
I
prepared
have-
this.
I have similar ideas of episodes for other franchises, but I have been in the tank in those for like literally years. So like for like a week's worth of work. Now this is pretty decent. We've covered I think everything pretty comprehensively.
I only did hours of research, basically just being like, where are places where I actually can find like descriptions and pictures to actually show. So that totally took me like 3 hours.
And we should say also like they do have products on their website, but a lot of this is like 3D printing models, like you download the rules online kind of a thing. It's very very like ground up sort of thing. It's not like you go to the Trench Crusade store.
You can download the book for the Prussian unit rule book for free on their site.
Yeah, so they have like stuff you can check out. And also, hey, if these guys ever like run up like a computer tactics game, you know. you could
Honestly,
really
I don't think they could do a Total War game, but honestly, if they did like.
Well, no, it's probably.
I think it'd be
not
cool.
much involved in those.
Yeah, but if they did like a. I don't. I guess like how like 40K Tacticus is a thing, or it's like a mobile game, but it's also a tactics game, where like that kind of level of like tactics game they could probably do.
There's plenty of stuff. I don't know, but anyway, it's a neat setting. I implore you if you've been intrigued by this to check it out.
Somebody seems to be a nightmare to
Everybody
paint.
give, I won't say like round of applause, but everybody, quick hand for X. Thanks for tuning in. I have absolutely no idea what we're gonna do next week. Genuinely,
I have no idea
I do
either.
not know what the play is next Tuesday.
It's the 23rd, I guess, but hey.
We'll figure it out because Dallas won't be there, so we probably won't do any more Magic stuff.
Thanks for showing up for my
Poltergeist?
pre-birthday thing of being like I feel like this is like weirdly descriptive. This is not really a good showing of me, but we did Balacho one time, we did SMP another time. It's just stuff I think is cool and worth showing.
Yeah, we did SMT. Like, this is as fun as those. But it is time to wind it in. I think
I hope at least all of you were at least horrified, but also amazed at the same time by a lot of these.
No, it's
I
very
mean,
good art.
honestly,
yeah,
it's
there's a lot of neat stuff.
It's very good art, very cool. I honestly like the setting is something that I would be interested in looking into more.
That's all you can really ask for. So, Anyway, the end of stream stuff. Terrible at it. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. Leave your comments below. Like I said, check out Trench Crusade if you're interested. To do my normal business, we will be back tomorrow for a 14 stream.
I really don't want to be there, but I might be there, even though it might kind of be like sour.
You know, there'll be new plot to do.
Because it wasn't. Because if the patch is only the patch is moved another week, I would have like it would be a very different tone.
Yes. Anyway, I completely forgot what I was going to say about ending the stream. We're going to end the stream. I had something different I was going to say that was probably better said, but I forgot
Fantasy
it.
stream.
Yeah, we said it. We're doing Final Fantasy tomorrow. I'll see you guys later.
Wrestling storyline.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.